work with. You represent where I come from. You represent where the vast majority of the American people.
Meantime, facing questions about Clooney's statement today, the Biden campaign referring back to the president's recent statements about staying in the race. Just a short time ago, President Biden formally welcoming world leaders to the NATO summit, where Ukraine is a big focus. Secretary of State Antony Blinken.
The fastest way, the quickest way to get to peace is through a strong Ukraine.
Denmark and the Netherlands are donating American-made F-16s to Ukraine, expected to be flying sometime this summer. America is listening to Fox News.
Ugh, I've been feeling so sluggish. I'm just kind of blah.
Been there. That's why I take Align yogurt-coated probiotic fruit bites.
But I suppose they taste blah.
Actually, they taste delicious. It's an apple blueberry flavored center covered in a yogurt coating and is infused with probiotics to help support a healthy gut. They come 5 in a pouch. I just toss one in my bag and go.
Toss one in my bag?
Ha, get your own.
New Align yogurt-coated probiotic fruit bites from the makers of the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand. Find them in the digestive care aisle.
The doctor's office that accidentally mixed up your files has your social security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info. And the hotel that lost your reservation has your passport number. You need LifeLock because your personal info is in endless places that can expose you to identity thieves. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Plenty of sunshine in play going through our Wednesday afternoon, but with all the rain, we have a chance of a spot thunderstorm developing only because there's so much moisture in the low levels of the atmosphere. 84 for the high. Tonight, some spot evening storms, otherwise partly cloudy, 68. Same kind of setup on Thursday. Partly sunny skies. We'll watch for some spot afternoon storms on Thursday, 86. Friday, sunny and 91. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
More good news for Frederick Roofing, voted best roofing company by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
314-645-2000.
Jules on Hampton in St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches on site. Jules on Hampton is a premier jeweler with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jules on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches. Bring your collectibles and clocks, sports memorabilia, and figurines too. Jules on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa. Call them at 314-752-5000. That's 314-752-5000. So if you need some extra cash, looking for that one-of-a-kind piece, make Jules on Hampton your first stop. Jules on Hampton in St. Louis Hills.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
I don't care if he's pooped his pants. I don't care if he can't put a sentence together. Show me he can't do the job, and then I'll say, okay, maybe it's time to go.
What job are we talking about?
I don't know.
There's some basic level job requirements, and I just need a list of things that Whoopi Goldberg does consider disqualifying for the presidency.
Yeah. Gosh, fecal incontinence. Nah, that's not a disqualifier.
Pooping your pants is a big deal. I mean, I'm just thinking that right now, you're listening right now, and if it's ever happened to you, you know what the temperature was that day. You know the exact time that it occurred. It's not something, I don't think that most adults have experienced this, but for whatever particular reason, if it has happened to you, you can in great detail explain the circumstances that led up to that moment in your life. Not disqualifying to be the president, though, if you can't control it. That's Whoopi Goldberg. That's how we like to start every show off here on the Annie Fry Show. I'm sorry. I apologize. The reason why I wanted to play that to start off is because the president is delivering his NATO remarks. That's what it was, right? I cannot wait to speak with Jim Carafano at 1:25. So just about an hour and 15 minutes from right now. What is this NATO summit? Why is everybody coming to Washington, D.C.? If you've listened to Joe Biden talk about NATO, specifically with George Stephanopoulos, he considers this to be quite the plume in his hat. I would assume that the NATO summit is supposed to be about something more than whether or not the president is capable of meeting the needs of the job. And going back to Whoopi Goldberg, it's clear that those needs and wants of people who are willing to vote for Joe Biden might vary a little bit. Let's listen to President Biden as he's delivering. These just happened in Washington, D.C.
The NATO shield. Today, we're stronger than we've ever been. Since I took office, we've doubled the number of battle groups in NATO's eastern flank, and the United States has. Finland and Sweden have joined the alliance. And the number of allies spending at least 2% on defense has gone from 9 to 23. That's not happened by chance, but by choice. At our summit 2 years ago, we launched a plan to modernize our deterrence and our defense. And today, we have to ask ourselves, what is next? How can we keep making the shield stronger? One answer must be to strengthen our industrial base. Right now, Russia is on a wartime footing with regard to defense production. They're significantly ramping up their production of weapons, munitions, and vehicles. And they're doing it with the help of China, North Korea, and Iran. We cannot, in my view, we cannot allow the alliance to fall behind. The fact is that so many of let me put it this way. I'm very pleased that today all NATO members are making the pledge to expand our industrial base and our industrial capacity, like our defense spending commitment. This is a critical step to maintaining our security. The first time ever, every NATO nation is pledging to develop plans for defense production at home. That means, as an alliance, we'll become more innovative and competitive. And we're able to produce more critical defense equipment more quickly than we may need it. We will not be surpassed, we cannot be surpassed by anyone when it comes to our readiness. Here at home, Americans have seen the power of investments like these. In my administration, we've already invested $30 billion in defense manufacturing to restart or expand production across 35 of our states. We're investing billions more. The result, stronger supply chains, a stronger economy, stronger military, and a stronger nation. Let me close with this. This new pledge sends an unmistakable message to the world that every NATO member is committed to doing their part to keep the alliance strong. We can and will defend every inch of NATO territory, and we'll do it together. And that we're investing in our future strength to ensure NATO will always be ready for whatever threats we will face should be a clear message we're sending to the world. So I want to thank you, every NATO member, for your commitment for our shared security. I will now ask the press to depart.
So Joe Biden speaking from the NATO summit, his remarks as that opens up, and he stumbles over the phrase he's supposed to read from the teleprompter saying he wants to send a clear message. I noticed that. I don't hear that and feel like this guy's got it. He's got two hands on the wheel. He knows where he's going. He's got it. But that's the same thing that we've been saying for years, literally years. Now some other voices are starting to get in on the action.
And this is extraordinary. Just a few minutes ago, George Clooney has posted an op-ed in the New York Times. I'm going to read a line from it. He says, "I love Joe Biden as a senator, as a vice president and president. I consider him a friend and I believe in him, believe in his character, believe in his morals." But he goes on to say he thinks that they need a new presidential nominee. Wow. Remember, just a couple weeks ago, President Biden raced back from Europe to get to Los Angeles for a George Clooney hosted fundraiser where Barack Obama was also there, Bill Clinton was there. George Clooney is now saying that after he watched the debate, he wants a new top of the ticket. That is going to sting here at the White House and also in Wilmington.
So Peter Doocy reporting on the New York Times George Clooney op-ed, picking up off of what he quoted from that article. As a vice president and as a president, I consider him a friend and I believe in him, believe in his character, believe in his morals. In the last 4 years, he's won many of the battles he's faced. But the one battle he cannot win is the fight against time. None of us can. It's devastating to say it, but the Joe Biden I was with 3 weeks ago at the fundraiser was not the Joe, quote, big effing deal, end quote, Biden of 2010. He wasn't even the Joe Biden of 2020. He was the same man we all witnessed at the debate. Was he tired? Yes. A cold? Maybe. But our party leaders need to stop telling us that 51 million people didn't see what we just saw. We're all so terrified by the prospect of a second Trump term that we've opted to ignore every warning sign. The George Stephanopoulos interview only reinforced what we saw the week before. As Democrats, we collectively hold our breath or turn down the volume whenever we see the president, who we respect, walk off Air Force One or walk back to a mic to answer an unscripted question. This is George Clooney. If George Clooney, who is the premier raiser of funds from all of the elites, is saying he's got to go, money talks. And it seems to me when we continue to hear different legislators kind of waffle on it and make it seem as though, yeah, you know, there's some concerns, but we're coming together. We're trying to figure out what the path forward looks like. When you hear that there is a little bit of dissent, but not a clear, concise message coming out of Congress, they're looking for cover. None of them, which is ironic, want to lead on this issue, and none of them want to be caught when the music stops without a chair. They're all afraid of what could happen in November. And listen, it's not the end of democracy that they're afraid of. That is a ruse. The idea that Donald Trump, like, guys, listen, he lost in 2020. Joe Biden was sworn in January of 2020 and has been, unfortunately, the president since then. There was no insurrection. There was no violence that was pushed onto democracy by Donald Trump so that he could never leave the Oval. He left the Oval Office. He left the presidency. We watched as he and his wife walked on to the aircraft and flew away, and Joe Biden and President Jill Biden took over the Oval Office and have done their thing. The Bidens have been in office. There was a transition of power. It was less peaceful maybe than all of us would have liked, but there was no insurrection. It's really quite something to witness the powers that be. Well, I was just talking about this Monday about how these people produce things. And I don't mean jobs and good economy and good policy. I mean stories. These people produce stories. And it is a little too on the nose that maybe one of the most beautiful men in Hollywood, George Clooney, the guy who walks in a room, smiles. There's a literal twinkle that goes ding when he smiles and he gets to the end of the stage to welcome people. He's a gorgeous individual, a wonderful actor, and pretty dim when it comes to politics. Or maybe not. Maybe the system that is set up right now, maybe the power structure that is set up right now is actually really good for a guy like George Clooney. Maybe George Clooney thinks that the status quo is necessary in terms of political parties that have power right now because it is what's best for George Clooney. Forget about what people like you and me who, we've got two incomes in our home and we're busting our butts to feed our kids, to be able to give them the life. Listen, it's not about it's good enough. In America, you want it to be great. You want your hard work to pay off so it can be great. You want to seek out opportunity and you want to hit the ball out of the freaking park and you want to enjoy the success that you have made. You don't want to sit there and go, listen, you're not starving. You're fine. I know you wanted to move into a bigger house, but you don't need it. I know you wanted to drive a nicer car, but you don't have to. That is the vision for the left in this country. And in that vision, the likes of the people who are in power need the status of the folks like George Clooney in order to keep the ruse going because they stay where they are and we continue to struggle at the grocery store, at the gas pump. When we're trying to look at our savings account because you're trying to build an emergency savings up, you're trying to pay down your credit card debt, you're trying to make sure that you can stay ahead on your bills, you're trying to do all of these things, you're trying to get ahead, you're trying to have great success, and you're told you don't really need to have that kind of stove that you want. And we're also going to take care of the faucets that you're using in your bathroom, the shower heads, the toilets. We're going to take care of that for you. We're going to manage that for you. I heard Corey Malone and Mr. Eggers on Mark Cox's show the other day talking about how they're changing the refrigerant in your air conditioning units that you're going to be able to put into your home, and it's going to cause the cost of air conditioning to go up 20 to 30% to get that put in your home. They've got ideas for making everything better, but for whom? Not for you. They don't care about you. You're a means to an end. You keep working the daily grind. They're going to keep taxing your paycheck until they can come up with another reason to tax it. And the guys like George Clooney, the jet setters, the people who see the world in their private jets and then come out and wring their hands and say, we need to raise funds to keep the Democrats in power. What do? They freaking buy carbon offsets. What the hell even is that? It's the virtue signal with the price tag that the uber elite are able to pay so that they can live the way they want to live. And they've made the deal with the devil. They've shaken the hand and they've said, we're going to do everything we can to keep this situation the way it is, but we're going to get to keep living the way we want. Well, how could we do that? How could we be out there telling people that they need to plug their cars in and get rid of their gas-powered vehicle while you're flying in a private jet across the ocean? How could we possibly get people to buy into this? Well, here's what we'll do. We'll tell the people that they're doing what they need to do to save the planet because it's going to be gone in 12 years. I mean, literal things that these buffoons have tried to sell you. Well, how are you going to tell them? You think they're just going to hear that they're going to save the planet and then they're all of a sudden going to go, Okay, I'm in for it. Yeah. What about when it's hurting? And what about when you're there telling them what they need to do, but you're the one who's flying across the world and enjoying the spoils of just absolute gross, obese prosperity and financial success. How are we going to sell that to we'll just make them feel like you're paying carbon offsets. We're going to make you pay your fair share and compensate for the things that you need to do. We're going to send you to global warming. No, we can't call it global warming because it's not warming. Climate change. The climate is changing. Yes, we'll go with that. You pay money. We'll tell people it's not global warming anymore. We'll just say climate change because who can argue with the climate's changing? Spoiler alert, top secret information. The climate is always changing. We'll go with that. And the people will love it. Because the people love you, George Clooney. We just need you to come out and say what we need you to say at any given time. Make sure the money comes in. Make sure that the people who want to rub elbows with the likes of George Clooney and Julia Roberts come out and write the checks. And we'll keep it going in Washington, D.C., and you keep it going in Hollywood. And everybody in between, they'll just follow along. We'll produce a story. We'll make it a beautiful story. We'll make it a tragic story. We'll create an awesome villain that will get us everything we need because everybody will be so focused on being frightened from the villain. A reminder from Monday where I was telling you, you go into the movie theater and you're seeing Chris Pratt trying to fight off Indominus Rex, which even makes fun of the name of boy, that's a little extra, don't you think? Indominus Rex. And at the end, you've got a T-Rex and Indominus Rex fighting each other. It's a raptor. It's a T-Rex. It's so big. It's freaking scary. You're sitting on the edge of your seat in the theater going, oh my gosh, this is terrifying. And you're just eating popcorn and maybe texting the kids in between like, everything good? Everything fine? But you're actually scared because the freaking story on the movie screen is so realistic and believable and it sucked you in so much that you're actually maybe in that moment realistically afraid of being eaten by a Tyrannosaurus Rex. They're good at what they do. And the people in Washington, D.C., they know that. The powers that be in Washington, D.C. understand the power of storytelling and the influence of the celebrity. So they shake hands. And they sell you a story. The difference is that you didn't know that you bought a ticket. You didn't know that you were sitting in there and watching a ruse. And the consequences are very real. The T-Rex is out there to get you. But you're just supposed to put your trust in the likes of George Clooney. What does George Clooney know about your life? What does George Clooney understand about the struggles that you have? Why would George Clooney care what you think? Everything that he writes in this New York Times op-ed about Joe Biden is pretty spot on. But the fact that this is all based on an unintelligent obsession with hating Donald Trump is just where he loses me. And the confession, which is what this really is, it's a confession that Joe Biden today is who people have been saying he was going to be all along. You know, Robert Hur said he was a well-meaning old man with a poor memory. I would drop the well-meaning, but go with the rest. They are not working for what's best for you. They desperately need the status quo. They desperately need to retain power. And something about Donald Trump, which is very ironic, that the thing I think they hate about him the most is because he kind of was from them. He was on the silver screen. He was on your television screen. People loved him. People just wanted to be in the same room as him. People wanted to have access to him. People wanted a photo with him. Hillary Clinton did herself. He came from them. I don't know what he knows about them. I don't know what he knows in Washington, D.C. that has made him the supreme villain in the play that they've been trying to sell to us. But whatever it is, I'm more interested with every passing day to find out. I don't know if George Clooney is going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back in what Joe Biden does next. But we are asking you that today in the YouTube poll. What will Joe Biden do? Is he going to drop out of the race? Is he going to resign as candidate and president? So he could drop out of just the political part of it. He could resign the whole schmo. He could remain in both. And guys, it is possible he could win re-election. If you go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel, in the live chat, you can vote in the poll and let us know why you voted the way you did. Let's go to Gary here says, I voted he will drop out. Now that George Clooney has called for him to step down, I know I'm right. So Gary feels vindicated by the George Clooney note. What do you think? Annie Fry YouTube channel, live chat. Go vote. Leave a comment. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Air Comfort Service online at aircomfortservice.com. I talked to you a lot about how they've come in and replaced the air conditioner, the furnace, the water heater. They've done an AeroSeal duct sealing in my house. I've gotten the works, the treatment from Air Comfort Service, and I was always happy to hire them because they always gave me the God's honest truth and options as well on how to handle our furnace when it bombed out on us like 2 days after Christmas about 2 years ago. And our AC unit quit blowing cold air. Here's the deal. Our house was about 20 years old, 22 years old or something like that. And stuff just wears out. And when you need to have someone come in and say, we could replace it, we could repair it, and it's going to cost this much to repair and this much to replace, you can make a good educated decision based on your budget. And they add in things like rebates and financing to help make that process smoother. Don't forget that they also work commercially. If you want to call Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling and Installation, you can get a free second opinion on a heat exchanger or compressor repairs. Reach out to them at 314-513-0091, 314-513-0091, online at aircomfortservice.com.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
Sale starts next weekend. For 3 days only, next Friday through Sunday, get 20% off. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and more. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off. And designers are flying in from New York and LA to showcase their latest trends. That's 20% off, plus $100 off with an appointment and designer trunk shows. Tons of engagement rings on sale, too. 20% off starts next Friday. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
Summer is here, which means pool days, beach trips, and yeah, you guessed it, traffic jams. Oh yeah, and heat waves. Don't let summer catch you by surprise. Get the local news you need, no matter what you're up to, with the free Odyssey app. And never miss a beat with alerts on breaking stories sent directly to your phone. Listen today on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Get in your comfort zone with a free home safety package on a new HVAC system. That's an almost $800 value for free. For details and a free estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com. Who are you voting for in the Missouri governor's primary? Join me, Annie Fry, for the Republican Governors Forum this Thursday. Register for this free event presented by the Republican Central Committee of St. Louis County at 971talk.com/events.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. So obviously the question, the biggest question is, and it's going to be this way, I think that we butt up to the Democrat convention before we, you have to get past the convention. If Biden is still the nominee past the convention, that would be jaw-dropping for me. But if he's the nominee past the convention, I think he's a guy, unless something else happens. And I don't really know. One day we're gonna turn on the news. This is the way this is gonna go. We're gonna turn on the news. It's just gonna be like Joe Biden's out. He's making a statement. He's addressing the nation. This is not happening. I'm saying this is like what will happen, but they'll make an announcement that he'll address the nation that evening from the Oval Office, and he'll talk about all of the great things. But the situation with Donald Trump is too dire. We can't do anything that is going to cause us to potentially lose the progress that we've made so far. And because of that, I am stepping aside as the nominee. I don't think he can he do that speech from the Oval Office? I don't think he can.
No, I don't think he can.
I think he can do it from the Oval Office. He can resign from there, though. And, that's potentially how this will roll. We're gonna have all of these conversations of person after person after person who says, I think it would be best for the Democrat Party. He can't win. His poll numbers are terrible, folks. There's nothing that he is really offering right now, the Democratic Party, when it comes to taking Donald Trump back to the woodshed as he did in 2020, so to speak. That's not in the cards, and it's so much bigger than just the presidency. You've got the House, you've got the Senate, and the dramatic wins that could take place right now in both of those places are consequential beyond just, 2024. It's a lot bigger than that. It's a lot more important than that. Jake Tapper, he seems like a really unhappy guy these days. He's like, God dang it, I hate my job. That's what it seems like. Listen to this report.
In reality, 72% of voters say that they believe President Biden is too old. That's according to CNN's most recent polling. Voters have been saying this for quite a long time. The reality is that the Democratic elites are mostly late to acknowledge these age and ability issues compared to the rest of the public.
Wait, is Jake Tapper? I mean, I know he's supposed to be a journalist, but I hate to break it to you, buddy. I'm putting you in the Democrat elite category.
Yeah.
He's making the observation that this isn't really new, that the idea that Joe Biden is deteriorated, this is not like brand new information. But he's saying that the Democrat elites have been making you believe that. Mr. Tapper, they would not have been able to do it without your help at all. So any sort of blame shifting that you would try to participate in here, just know, however angry or frustrated you are at them, that's how we feel about the agenda-driven media in this country.
The elites have been forced to reckon with it after the debate just 11 days ago.
Look at my career, and not that many of those nights. It was a terrible night, and I really regret it happening. But the fact of the matter is, how can you assure you're going to be on Faith Documentary and be on the way to go to, work tomorrow? Age wasn't, the idea I'm too old.
The fact of the matter is, how can you assure you're going to be out on, on your way to go, work tomorrow? Age wasn't, the idea that I'm too old.
Oh, man.
Keep in mind, that soundbite is supposed to be reassuring to those Democratic supporters who have gone wobbly.
Not him, them. Those Democrat supporters. You got to think, here's what, maybe this is possible. Maybe Jake Tapper is a closeted Republican. And maybe he's been in the midst. Maybe he's been in the trenches this whole time. And he's been watching the way this goes, and he's at CNN, he's trying to keep his job. And like if you're watching on the YouTube right now, you can see his face right now. He's not happy. No. He looks like he needs a drink.
Yeah.
Or the beach or something like that, but he keeps talking about, like, it's like he's a casual observer who's just walked into this situation just right now, and he's observing, it appears as though some of you have not been paying attention. Oh, my gosh. Save it.
Did you ever watch the debate afterwards? I don't think I did, no.
He doesn't think he did. He called into a couple of black radio stations where he said, among other things, this.
By the way, I'm proud to be, as I said, the first vice president, first black woman, served with a black president. I'm proud to have been involved with the first black woman in the Supreme Court. There's so much.
She's like, like, he's speaking to a black woman, correct?
Yes.
That we can do, because together there's nothing. Look, this is the United States of America.
He's proud to be the first black woman. Not coherent. And even then, we later found out, from the radio host, that
what if he identifies as a black woman? At least a woman. I mean, your rules, not mine.
The Biden campaign had given her a list of questions to ask President Biden. That is a huge no-no in journalism, and the host was fired for it, but it remains quite telling that in the Biden campaign's efforts to show that the president has not missed a step, his campaign felt the need to feed questions to the hosts for a call-in radio interview.
He's so mad.
And the president still, even then, failed to deliver in many of his answers. Now, many elected Democrats are expressing concern about this answer, too, although it was quite coherent. George Stephanopoulos asking him how he would feel if he ultimately loses to Donald Trump, which polls have suggested he will.
I feel as long as I gave it my all and I did the goodest job as I know I can do. That's what this is about.
As long as he gave it his all and did the goodest job he could do. That's what it's all about. Is it?
Jake Tapper's not okay. Will you please take Jake Tapper's very monotone reading of did the goodest job he can do and put it in the Wiggins America intro? This is really serious stuff. Why is it funny? Because it's like all we have left on our side. Watching the media specifically be shocked at the situation that Joe Biden is in currently, it's comical. Because if you've been paying attention to Fox News, I'll say it specifically. Yes, we're a Fox News radio affiliate, but if you've listened to this show, if you've listened to this station, if you've listened to Fox News, watched Fox News, there have been signs along the way that there is a little bit of reason to be concerned. And the whole time, this is why I'm laughing at them. This is why I'm laughing at the media right now while they're struggling, because they can't do it anymore, because they can't get away with it. It's that bad. Not only do they look foolish, they're going to lose in November like this. This is why I'm laughing at you, because when we said it ahead of time, you called us names.
Mm-hmm.
You said we were hateful. You said we were deceitful. You said we were, honestly, all of the things that you were doing. So when I'm sad inside and I'm having a bad day, I'm going to pull up that Jake Tapper video and watch it and feel better about myself, because he is coming to grips. I don't know what happens next, but this moment in time right now, I set aside all of the electeds, the Democrats right now who are elected right now, because they're not concerned about anything other than their own hides. Yes, Donald Trump, big scary orange guy. I get it. You're afraid of him. But you've been using that as collateral for quite some time to get where you are. It's never been about what you're going to do for people. It's never been on the left. The collective message hasn't been about how good the Democrat Party is for the American people, because the Democrat Party gets elected on the idea that America needs to work with a lot of improvement. There's a lot of things that need to change at the most fundamental level. That's what they told us. And they sell us elections on hope and change. And then it changes. And then it sucks for us. And the policy issues aren't enough to get people to go to the ballot box anymore, so they need the villain. And they got one in Donald Trump. And Donald Trump, like the freaking orange Kool-Aid man, busts into the room on cue every single time. And he's like, I'm here. Let's go. And he's still there, and they can't believe it. They cannot believe that all of the obstacles they put in front of Donald Trump before this moment in time, all of those obstacles that they put in front of him to stop him, that he hasn't dodged and bobbed and weaved through him. He just ran straight through him. He knocked him down on his way to where we are right now. And Joe Biden can't handle stares or words. Or, if you ask Whoopi Goldberg, digestion. It's a hard time for them. Don't rub it in their faces. If you're talking to somebody who's concerned about Joe Biden, they're afraid that Donald Trump is going to become the president, don't try to convince them to vote for Donald Trump. Just assuage their fears that if he gets elected, it won't be that bad. That's how you start the conversation. On the YouTube poll, what will Joe Biden do? Is he going to drop out of the race? Is he going to resign as candidate and, of course, president? Will he remain as the candidate and as the president, or will he win re-election? We'll see if one of those pulls ahead here strongly on the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. Come vote on YouTube. Say hi, hello, especially to Ryan Wiggins, who always does the goodest job every time he's in here. Never more, never less. Ryan Wiggins, when we come back. Stewart's American Mortgage is the home of the bagel loan, and the thing that is so great about the bagel loan is it wipes out all those closing costs that you might incur should you get a mortgage with Stewart's American Mortgage when you're buying that home. When you use the bagel loan, the closing costs are taken care of by Stewie. There aren't any. You don't pay any of them. Think about all the money that you keep in your pocket just by doing business with Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage. You're still going to be able to get that low rate that you could qualify for wherever you would go to. He's going to be able to get you that and walk you through the process to get a speedy close. He can close in less than 2 weeks. That's pretty fantastic. Missouri and Illinois, too. I think it's important to mention that. I have refinanced my house twice with Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage. I trust him. He does business the old-fashioned way. He works directly with you. And when you call 314-324-4440 or you text 314-324-4440 about questions with your mortgage, you get him directly. And I think that's pretty great. 314-324-4440. Google the Bagel Loan, NMLS number 226715.
The weather report today is hot. So I hope all your everybody's air conditioning is cooling the best it can. Now, don't fret if it's 100 degrees outside and you have your thermostat set for 65 and it's not pulling it down to 65. That's not the air conditioner. That's just your house incapable. It's not insulated enough. It just can't handle that kind of heat being pulled into your house. But if you, at 100 degrees, it's not cooling it, below 80 for 2 days in a row, or if it's real humid and muggy, that is a sign that you're either having a problem like a window or doors left open, or your air conditioning is failing on you. So if that happens to be you, call me, Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois. It is 314-293-2600. Or on the internet, BartInman.com. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-254-4574. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-254-4574 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-254-4574 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-254-4574.
Are you ready to shape the future? Missouri is crafting its master plan on aging, and we want to hear from you. Visit health.mo.gov/aging to share your thoughts, ideas, and concerns. We can create a vibrant, inclusive future for all generations.
Mark Cox here. Did you know the Rockwood School District is a great place to work? They're currently hiring school bus drivers, cafeteria workers, and custodial staff, as well as summer positions for mowers and landscapers. They have openings in Adventure Club, which is before and after school care. They offer competitive pay, flexible work hours, and a rewarding work environment. Discover the Rockwood Advantage and join an amazing team. Go to rsdmo.org/jobs. That's rsdmo.org/jobs.
The YouTube live chat poll today, what will Joe Biden do? Drop out of the race, resign as candidate and president, remain in both, or win re-election? I'd really like to talk to you win re-election people. 1249. Hey, but it's on there. You can vote. You can vote however you want. This is a democracy.
I want everybody to feel included on this show.
I do too.
6% of you.
I do want to know who you are, though. 1249. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The Midwest Arms Collectors Gun Show is coming to the St. Charles Convention Center. They draw the biggest vendors from around the country. Mark Cox here. It's the St. Charles Gun Show, July 13th and 14th. Listen to the Mark Cox Morning Show all this week for your chance to win tickets.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. You'd be like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much. At long last, love has arrived.
Wiggins! Oh! Wiggins!
As long as he gave it his all and did the goodest job he could do.
That's your cue.
That's what I put on the top of my resumes. That's why I'm still working here, because all my resumes get refused.
Can I just add to that? If you go back and you listen to Joe Biden when he says that to Stephanopoulos, what he's trying to say is, if I did as good a job as I think I can do. But he doesn't say that because he can't articulate words. So he absolutely says the goodest job, but I don't think that when he said goodest job that he was like committed to that.
No. It was like a fumble, but there were so many. There's just so many fumbles that it's like, okay, we'll just add that to the list.
And it's hilarious.
I told you, I don't even think you meant to make that a funny segment, but I was cracking up.
Brian.
I was cracking up at my desk.
You think that all of the things that I do on this show are just lucky. He does this all the time.
Listen, Annie, people can only speak from the matrix through which they understand things. So if he's telling you...
He'll be like, I don't know if you were trying to make sense when you made that point, but that was awesome. Thanks.
Look,
I was doing the goodest job I
I'm
thought
doing
I
the
could
goodest
do.
job I can.
I know, but no, I was actually intending for that to be an incredibly serious conversation, and it actually hurts my feelings that you were laughing along with us laughing at the time.
Oh, man, I was dying. These stories are just not as important as the collapse of the Democratic Party. But
You want to go back? I have more Jake Tapper.
I kind of do. I mean, hey, guys, keep it tuned here until 3 o'clock because I'm sure it's going to be fun.
And beyond.
And beyond. Gen Z. These are stories about Gen Z. Gen Z men are spending thousands of dollars on looks maxing. Dr. Jennifer Levine, an Upper East Side plastic surgeon, told the Post that since 2020, she's seen a 400% increase in 20-something men coming to her practice for jawline treatments.
Okay.
So,
too much mewing.
Brad,
Not enough mewing.
if you've ever considered it, just know that it's more socially acceptable now than ever.
Wasn't it Gen Z that was
Gen
doing?
Z, but it's mostly guys doing this. Jawline looks maxing.
So you thought you'd go to the guy in the room.
I thought I'd just ask Brad if he was interested in doing it.
No.
I don't think women are looking for the guy who's like, I really need to work on my jaw.
Okay, let's get to know.
No, go kill an animal and cook it. That's what women are
That guy's jaw looks
viscerally
like he
thinking.
could kill an animal and cook it.
That's kind of where I was thinking, is that women would look at a man's jaw and think, that guy could kill an animal and cook it.
No.
And
I
defer
mean,
it.
I can't speak for all women, but I can speak for a lot of them when I say it's just more about your natural confidence and your ability to be confident enough with yourself that I feel like that could protect me or provide for me in some way, shape, or form. There's no woman who ever wants to hear their man go, does this make me look fat?
That's why I never asked that question.
You can ask me.
No, thanks. No, thank you. List of things
No,
that I
Ryan,
will never say.
You look exactly like you.
Thank you very much. That's what I'm going to tell my wife next time.
You better not.
You look exactly like you. You always look like this. Wait, what?
Oh, no. Don't do that.
Your wife is beautiful, and if you tell her that, she should slap you.
That's a fact. That's the clip that we're going to cut, and the rest will be deleted from the podcast.
You should say it, not me.
I will.
Say it.
I will.
Now.
She's beautiful. She's gorgeous. She's like a dove. She's like a little chocolate. Next story. Hot young adults are blinging out their belly buttons again.
God dang it.
I know. I mean, what?
Is that just a belly button piercing?
The belly, yeah, Gen Z and millennials are bringing back, mainly Gen Z.
They're
bringing
just
back,
doing everything we did in the 90s.
That's what it says. 90s belly button piercings are coming back.
Tramp stamps next.
Was that a thing? I mean, was the belly button piercing thing that big?
Don't act like you do not have your belly button pierced. We've seen it.
I don't pierce my belly button. I pierce
You
the
didn't.
nips. Belly button would be weird on me. Let's start talking about my belly a second ago.
I haven't seen your nipples.
Now my nipples. That you want to see.
I have seen your belly button on crop top day.
That's a weird day at the office, isn't it?
You've told us about your tattoo. Do you remember a long time ago when you told us about your tattoo?
On the small of my back? I told Jamie Lissow. It's a dolphin jumping over a sunset.
Yeah.
Into a lagoon.
You got that at the same time as the belly button nip rings.
That's right. Can you put a chain from one to the other?
Yes, sir, we can. Sir? Is that correct?
I'm so glad you've tuned in right now to the Annie Fry Show. Why Gen Z is turned off by sex in movies, according to a new spicy survey of 2,000 Americans.
They're probably oversaturated in pornography.
I know. I hate to admit that. That's probably
No,
why.
that's 100% why it is.
But it says that 33% of all those polled have stopped watching a movie during a sex scene, but the highest likelihood is among Gen Zers at 43% turning off a movie after encountering a sex scene. So you could take that
is
as
Gen
a
Z
positive.
still living with mom and dad? I think millennials are still in some cases
right
living.
on the border there. I think they edge into the 20s.
Are they turning it off when they're watching a film with mom and dad?
I don't know.
I'd turn it off.
My gosh, I try to turn it off regardless, but man, if there's anybody else in a room and a sex scene comes on, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so uncomfortable. I can't stand it. And the TV, not just the movie. The whole TV just gets thrown off of the desk.
I don't really think that that's unique to Ryan Wiggins.
Well, that's good. That's a positive sign for our country.
Yeah, the tattoos and the nip rings, though, pretty unique.
Yeah, that I just stand in front of the window. Hey, everybody.
Let's get this back on track with Deroy Murdock and Jim Carafano next. Don't go away.
Liberal mega donors are always looking for new rhinos to do their bidding. And with Adam Schnelting, they found their new star. Adam Schnelting has already backed their radical plan to defund our police. And he skipped countless important conservative votes. Skipped a vote to protect kids from sexually explicit materials in school. And skipped a vote to protect churches from junk lawsuits. It's no wonder Adam Schnelting is bankrolled by Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, and Joe Biden's top funders. Bill Cristofanelli is the only leader we can trust to protect our conservative priorities. When radicals tried to defund the police, Bill Cristofanelli passed record funding from Missouri's law enforcement. When Joe Biden left our southern border wide open, conservative Bill Cristofanelli banned sanctuary cities and voted to send Missouri National Guard troops to secure the border. Vote Bill Cristofanelli, the proven conservative, for state senate.
Gladius PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising, paid for by Gladius PAC, and is not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
There's a lot of really delicious, great produce that you can shop at Ruler Foods right now for less. That's why I shop at Ruler Foods for my family. I love going and seeing what the latest sales are because generally speaking, you're going to save money at Ruler Foods, but then they have extra great deals. Fresh pineapple. I love fresh pineapple, especially at breakfast in the morning. 99 cents each for that fresh pineapple. Seedless watermelons or a big pack of blueberries, just $3.99 each. If you're looking to throw some burgers on the grill, how about some Kroger 73% lean ground beef sold in a 3-pound roll, just $2.99 a pound. They also have a 10 for $10 savings event. Banquet pot pies, Powerade or Body Armor, Chef Boyardee microwave bowls, Starkist chunk light tuna or Campbell's SpaghettiOs. All of those, if you buy 10 of those individually, you get them 10 for $10. Save when you go to Ruler Foods. You can have delivery done at Ruler Foods. You can find the Ruler Foods closest to you on Illinois side, on the Missouri side, all of it at rulerfoods.com.
Surprise! Surprise! You know, surprise parties, they can be fun, right? Well, financial surprises, not so much, especially when you're retired, like finding out you owe more in taxes than you thought you would, or having to go back to work to make ends meet. Maybe you think you'll be okay, but why not double check just to be sure? Call Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions and schedule a retirement double check. Marvin and his team have been helping families plan for retirement for more than 15 years. Call 314-373-1598 to schedule your retirement double check with Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions. That's 314-373-1598. Don't let a financial surprise derail your retirement dreams. Give Marvin and the team a call, 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and in Illinois.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Under Law Injury Lawyers GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
A united front from NATO. Elisa Brady, Fox News.
We can and will defend every inch of NATO territory
and we'll do it together.
President Biden opening a working session of world leaders now meeting behind closed doors. They're emphasizing shared strength and shared investments to face current and future threats. That includes the ongoing fight in Ukraine.
Denmark and the Netherlands are in the process of donating American-made F-16s to Ukraine, the leaders say in a joint statement with President Biden. That process is underway, and Ukraine is expected to be flying the warplanes this summer. Belgium and Norway are also committing to provide aircraft, the statement says. President Biden also announced a major donation of air defense capabilities for Ukraine that includes Patriot missile systems.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House, but the NATO summit is being overshadowed by all of the post-debate pressure on President Biden to drop his bid for re-election. That now includes a public call from actor George Clooney, only weeks after hosting a fundraising gala for the president. Ex-Obama advisor John Favreau was at that event and just told CNN.
I remember my wife, Emily, turned to me after the fundraiser and said, "What are we going to do?" I mean, and I said, well, there's a debate in a week. Either he'll do well in the debate and we'll think, well, he was just tired because he flew all the way back from Europe and that'll be that. Or he'll be like this at the debate and then the whole country will be talking about it. And so here we are.
Meantime, the number of Democrats in Congress calling for the president to drop out is now up to at least 8. Articles of impeachment against 2 conservative Supreme Court justices. New York Democratic Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez calling for the ousting of Justice Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito, who have faced criticism over gifts from Republican donors. Her office confirming she's introduced the articles. America is listening to Fox News.
Ugh, I've been feeling so sluggish. I'm just kind of blah. Been there. That's why I take Align yogurt-coated probiotic fruit bites. But I suppose they taste blah? Actually, they taste delicious. It's an apple blueberry flavored center covered in a yogurt coating and is infused with probiotics to help support a healthy gut. They come 5 in a pouch. I just toss one in my bag and go. Toss one in my bag? Get your own.
New Align yogurt-coated probiotic fruit bites from the makers of the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand. Find them in the digestive care aisle.
The doctor's office that accidentally mixed up your files has your social security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info. And the hotel that lost your reservation has your passport number. You need LifeLock because your personal info is in endless places that can expose you to identity thieves. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Plenty of sunshine in play going through our Wednesday afternoon, but with all the rain, we have a chance of a spot thunderstorm developing only because there's so much moisture in the low levels of the atmosphere. 84 for the high. Tonight, some spot evening storms, otherwise partly cloudy, 68. Same kind of setup on Thursday. Partly sunny skies. We'll watch for some spot afternoon storms on Thursday, 86. Friday, sunny and 91. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Visit CassinsSons.com. That's CassinsSons.com and start your process, continue your process, likely end your car shopping process by visiting Cassins & Sons Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. I am an incredibly happy and satisfied customer working with Cassins. The sales staff at Cassins, they are people who have been there for quite some time. They are so good at their jobs that people like myself do come back to them and say, okay, I need another vehicle. I understand the idea right now that you can shop, on some website that aggregates all the different vehicles and you can find the one that's going to save you $200. So you're going to drive an extra 45 miles to get it, whatever. I know that the system is set up to get you the absolute lowest price, but it's not always what it seems. If you want the fantastic price on a great vehicle, but you also want to make sure that you're being treated right, that you are going to create a relationship with somebody just like so many other people have for generations. When it comes to buying a vehicle you can trust, you got to go to Cassins. It's what I do, and I'm saying this as an honest-to-God customer of theirs with 2 cars that my family drives right now that have come from them. I trust them, and I encourage you to give them the opportunity to earn your trust as well. If you're in the market, make sure that you go to Cassins to check out their vehicles for your next purchase. 618-800-2712, 618-800-2712, CassinsSons.com.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent. So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle.
Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Free and Gentle. This back-to-school season, Tide and Downy are giving back with $1.5 million in scholarships. Enter to win. No purchase necessary. US/DC 17+. End September 30th. Rules. Tide.com/scholarship/official rules.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Experience the beauty of custom-crafted windows that enhance your home's aesthetics and energy efficiency. Look no further than Infinity from Marvin, proudly brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. Why choose Infinity? These windows are not just strong, they're 8 times stronger than vinyl, providing unmatched security for your home. Plus, with Lakeside's expert installation, you're guaranteed precision and perfection. Visit our showroom or call Lakeside Renovation and Design today. Elevate your home with Infinity from Marvin, where strength meets style.
Tony La Russa here. Men, are you running out of stamina rounding third base? If so, call my friends at Victory Men's Health in O'Fallon, Illinois. Scoring at home is important, just as important as crossing the plate with the winning run. VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
The Missouri Republican Governors Forum is this Thursday, and we're carrying it live. Presented by the Republican Central Committee of St. Louis County and moderated by Annie Fry. Democracy 2024 on 97.1 FM Talk.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long. Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
If Biden ends up running, potentially the Democrats could lose the Senate, the House, and the White House. And it's going to be a bloodbath. The blue states that we have held for many decades might potentially turn red. Trump is doing well when he runs against Biden in those states. And then the swing states, the battleground states, they are looking terrible. So at this point, all the polling indicates that Trump is going to win. So we need to send the best and the brightest out there to run against Trump.
That's Rishi Kumar, who is a Biden delegate, and the situation appears to Rishi to look incredibly dire. Let's get to our friend Deroy Murdock. Oh my goodness, every week that passes between our conversations, Deroy, it's quite dramatic, and Joe Biden, he's hanging in there by a thread, but he doesn't seem like he wants to go away.
The situation reminds me of a Grateful Dead lyric, which goes, things are going to get stranger and stranger, so let's get on with the show.
Yeah. What happens next, Deroy Murdock? What do you feel we are about to witness, and how quickly?
Well, nobody knows. I don't think we've ever been in this situation before. And the thing is, what makes it so unpredictable is that there's nothing that the Democrats can do if Joe Biden wants to remain in place. With the if this were something regarding high crimes and misdemeanors, it could be impeached. If he, committed a very serious crime, he could be arrested by the police or whatever. But his crime is that he's not fit for office. And unless they're going to impose the 25th Amendment and actually remove him as president, which would be really quite stark and quite kind of shocking. In terms of just denying the nomination, as we discussed last week, he won the nomination fair and square. He won 56 out of 57 contests, losing only American Samoa in the primaries. He won 87% of the 14.3 million votes that were cast in the Democrat primaries. And he controls 98.9% of the delegates who were pledged to support him on the first ballot. So if I were Joe Biden, I would tell all these people, look, I wanted this job since I was in elementary school. I've waited for it. I've climbed the ladder. I won it fair and square. I won the nomination fair. Well, who knows who won the White House fair and square? That's debatable. Certainly won the nomination fair and square. I think that we can agree on that. And he has every right to be there. And so if I were Joe Biden, I'd say, get out of my office.
Yeah.
And that's it. And if that's what he says, people said, they'll send in Obama and Bill Clinton. You could tell Obama and Bill Clinton to get out of his office. You could tell Mother Teresa to get out of his office if she were around. Tell the Pope to get out of his office. There's nothing they can do to deny him the nomination if he controls 98.9% of the delegates. Now, if he had 51, 52%, they might be able to talk to a few of them and, offer them help with their campaigns or try to pull them over or whatever it is. But with the 98.9% of delegates, they don't have much leeway to be able to reduce that by, 48.9% till they get to where they get to 50% or something like that. That's pretty hard to do if you're going to, offer jobs or favors to half the delegates. So they'd abandon them. I don't see that happening. So if I were Joe Biden, I'd say, look, I like this job. Dr. Jill Macbeth likes the job. And we're here to stay. So get used to it, and try to stop complaining. Try to be helpful. That's what I would say.
Yeah,
that's what he says. They can't do a thing about it.
I think we know the doctor that's been in charge of Joe Biden's health. I think that we can put some pieces together and make the picture a little more clear. We're speaking with Deroy Murdock, nationally syndicated columnist and Fox News contributor, our friend here on the Annie Frey Show. It really is a matter of you go first, because the left, I'm sure behind the scenes, the things that aren't getting reported, I bet you they are begging him, please step down, please step down. And all he has to say is, you have the means to remove me through the 25th Amendment, should you choose to go that direction. But like you're saying, other than all of the people who are asking him to step down, he's just asking them to do the dirty work, or they're asking him to do the dirty work for him, because if he's not, how do you ask a senile person to make the right decision and realize what's going on and step down? It's kind of a hard thing to do. That's why the 25th is there.
You got somebody who's mentally diminished, who also, from all we can gather, has a very large ego. From all we can tell, is very stubborn and ornery. It's funny how Biden likes to say that Trump is running for himself. It's all about him. Well, I don't know. His behavior over the last couple of weeks has been all about him. It's not about, gee, I've got this brand new idea, or, oh boy, I want to get reelected because I've got a brand new program I want to launch, or something to fix or adapt or reform or unveil. It's all about, I want to stay in power. You need to line up and support me. And it's all about him. Whereas meanwhile, President Trump is out there with a brand new platform with 20 new ideas and serious promises and reform proposals. So it looks like, I think the Biden reelection slogan right now is "Mind Me Mine."
Where are the American people in all of this? Because the conversation should be about in a campaign year, when the American people are supposed to choose the person that best reflects the most of us, and then you go through the steps of a constitutional republic and electoral college to put that person, that man or that woman, in the Oval Office. It doesn't seem like, with the Biden noise that's going on right now, that the American people are a part of the conversation. It's just like, who's going to retain power? And Donald Trump has been very, very smart to be very, very quiet for these last 2 weeks. Are the American people being lost in this, or is this just part of the natural process of things?
Well, I think you're right about that. The people who are telling Biden, get out of the way, are ignoring 14.3 million people who bother to show up at the primaries and vote for him. Now, they had the opportunity to support Dean Phillips, or to get somebody else, to RFK Jr. for that matter, or someone else to run against Biden. They could have gotten Gavin Newsom to run against him the same way Ted Kennedy ran against, or even better example, the same way that Ronald Reagan ran against Gerald Ford in 1976 and almost knocked him out. He came very close to knocking him out and taking over the GOP nomination. He fell a bit short, but obviously he became president in 1980, 4 years later. But if they had problems with Biden, somebody should have had the courage to stand up and run against him. Dean Phillips did. They kept him off the ballot in Florida and other places, but this not very well known or pretty obscure congressman from Minnesota thought he'd take a crack at it. He apparently is now going, and people are coming up to him saying, "Sorry, Dean, we wish we'd supported you. Had that opportunity." So he's definitely going. He's got a bit of a right to scream, "I told you so" to these people. But nobody ran against him, and now one bad 90-minute performance, and the guy they said was the sharpest scalpel in Washington, D.C., now the scalpel's broken, and they're running around, trying to bury the scalpel with very little luck. It's quite a mess, and I'm sure these people are suffering real sadness and agony at the moment.
Yeah, you can watch them in the left-leaning media. They are not okay. Deroy Murdock with us right now. He's a Fox News contributor and a nationally syndicated columnist. I'm incredibly insulted, but also not incredibly surprised at the about face that those on the left that are afraid of their power diminishing because they might lose an election with Biden at the top of the ticket, but specifically the media, those who have kind of put the extra pressure on Joe Biden in this current moment in time where it's been exposed. Everybody's seen what's behind the curtain. This isn't a Joe Biden that is dramatically different than like what you were saying when Dean Phillips was running. This isn't brand new information, and it's really insulting to me, and I think to the American people, to say like, wow, we had no idea. This is brand new. This is shocking. When the rest of us have been saying this for literally years.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, look, Joe Biden looked pretty shaky back in 2020.
Yeah.
When he first ran against President Trump, and you can look at video from him from 2 years ago, and the 2022 Joe Biden was much more robust and vigorous and focused and energetic than he is currently. And yet, 3 weeks ago, when you saw a video of him sort of drifting off at the G7 meeting in Italy last 3 weeks ago, these are cheap fakes, and this is doctored video, and people are engaging in, I don't know if it's AI and all these artificial images that were being presented. Nonsense. None of that was edited. That stuff was run, in continuous progression as it was either aired live or it was caught on video. None of this was doctored. And, as soon as that debate happened, which was a complete meltdown for Joe Biden, the same people yelling about cheap fakes are now saying, oh, my God, get him off the ballot.
Yeah.
Because they realized that, A, this was real, and B, they were lying to the American public by saying that we were lying about something that turned out to be absolutely true.
I think about when Donald Trump was, I guess, campaigning. It's hard to, maybe it was from the very beginning, but I think that he once said that the media was the enemy of the public. And when
enemy of the people.
Enemy of the people. And when I think about these reporters, they have more access than the people who don't get to, be in the White House press pool or be at these events that Joe Biden is appearing. The people who are around him, they've known for a long time. And I'm waiting for the first person to write that tell-all book and make a whole heap of money by saying what we've all assumed was going on and putting it out there in print so that they can profit off of it. But they've known for so long. And if they've been in the know and making the own personal or corporate decision to keep the American people from the truth, I'm looking at Donald Trump saying that that the press is the enemy of the people or the media is the enemy of the people. And I'm thinking I could see how that's actually pretty spot on right now.
I think you're right about that, and there's a reason that the Founding Fathers put the First Amendment into the Bill of Rights and enshrined the freedom of press with tremendous protection, and that is that the media is supposed to be there as the eyes and ears of the American public, because not everybody gets to walk into the White House press briefing room. Not everybody gets to spend time in congressional hearings or State Department briefings, whatever it is, and they're supposed to be there to tell us what's happening. And if these people who work for us, remember, these are our public servants, are doing their jobs, doing them well, and doing them economically, or if they're incompetent or even worse, malevolent. And so these folks who covered up for Joe Biden didn't do their jobs. They failed at their constantly protected duties. And from all we're gathering is that this has been essentially a 3.5-year-long cover-up to make Joe Biden look to be much more able and fit and competent as President of the United States than he actually was. All these details are now starting to trickle out about visits from a Parkinson's specialist and all this other stuff. I'm sure a lot of other details will emerge in the weeks and months ahead. And I think people will discover, as Trump said last night at a rally in Doral, Florida, and just outside Miami, that this is the greatest cover-up in American history. Yeah. And it wasn't just the White House staff and the first family, but the cooperation of the media outside of the Annie Frey show and Fox News Channel and Deroy Murdock's op-eds, and people on our side of the aisle have been honest about this, and the left have covered up and then attacked us for being crazy, conspiratorial, paranoid, et cetera, when all we were doing was telling the actual truth, which now is totally out there for everybody to see and no longer can be concealed.
Yeah, it's classic narcissistic gaslighting, and on quite a scale, to know how many people had to collectively agree, yep, this is what we need to do. I'm sure there are people who have participated in this groupthink that thought that they were doing what was best for the country, but it's just you don't have the right to do that. And in America, it's the free press is supposed to advocate, just like you said, for the American people, not for the powers that be. I mean, that is as upside down as the idea of America actually gets. And we've been witnessing it for quite some time. Do you believe that the American people are seeing through it for the first time, at least a portion of them that haven't seen it before? Is that surface cracked enough for the light to get through?
I think after that debate, everybody's seen it. Again, people on our side of the fence have been aware of this all along. But if you watch MSNBC, Morning Joe, you watch Rachel Maddow, if that's where you get your news, and you don't listen to the Annie Frey Show or watch Fox News Channel or read my op-eds, and those people who think like us, then you've been under the impression that Joe Biden is totally sharp. He's on top of everything. He's the most energetic man in Washington, D.C., great attention to detail. And you go back to just even a month ago, you've got people like Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski saying that Joe's on top of things and he's the most intelligent and capable leader they've ever seen. And boy, we're also lucky to have him. And boy, we can't keep up with the guy. All that entire complete Potemkin village collapsed utterly and loudly and dramatically during that debate where, among other things, my most astonishing moment for me was where Biden sort of stammered and stuttered, looked down his podium, and looked up and said, "We finally beat Medicare." Wow, what a comment! What on earth was that?
Yeah.
I didn't realize we're fighting Medicare. I guess we finally beat it.
Yeah.
Beat Medicare. Amazing.
Yeah. That and we speak specifically here about the 13 lives lost in Afghanistan. One of those was Jared Schmitz was from St. Louis, and when he's, it took my breath away. The way he tried to dunk on President Trump and say I do believe that he forgot them. I do believe that he wasn't trying to lie and deceive. I don't think he had his wits about him to know what he was talking about. But what a moment. That debate was really something.
Well, either way, I mean, look, if he's lying, then that's totally disgusting. But how, if you're President of the United States, can you forget probably the biggest failure of his presidency, which was the complete meltdown in Afghanistan when he pulled out, in just the most absurd and ridiculous and disastrous and shambolic fashion, including putting, unfortunately, 13 U.S. GIs in place at the Kabul airport who were attacked and killed by a terrorist with a bomb vest or jacket vest, whatever you call that. And I should say bomb vest. What word am I looking for?
Either way.
Either way, you know what I'm talking about. A bomb vest, I guess you call it. And it blew up, and he blew himself up and killed these 13 GIs, as well as Afghans and other people who were badly wounded. And you'd think you'd remember that. I mean, boy, if he forgets that, then either he is very, very selfish and callous, or, I mean, if it's just a matter of, that's completely gone from his memory, then he's even worse shape than we thought. And of course, remember, even at the time that happened, which was in August of 21, when those bodies were brought back to Delaware, I believe, he was standing on the tarmac checking his watch, trying to see what time it was, rather than being totally focused on being as dignified and respectful towards our fallen and murdered, frankly, war dead at that time. And he's busy trying to see what time of day it is when he can get out of there, move on with the rest of his schedule. Really disgusting. And this was yet another slap across the faces of the families and survivors of those 13 brave American service members who were killed by a terrorist over in Afghanistan. Horrible. Just horrible.
I get goosebumps. It makes me so mad when I think about that image of him checking his watch. It's just unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
And that's when, if you believe what the media said, he was supposed to be with it, but I don't believe it. So.
Yeah, that was many live brain cells ago, which I guess now have expired.
Deroy Murdock, we love you. Thank you for being with us. We'll talk to you again soon.
Okay, Annie, great to be with you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. He's the nationally syndicated columnist and Fox News contributor that joins us each Wednesday. Always great to talk with him. A quick break. A wonderful visit coming up here with Jim Carafano. When the United States is waffling over the mental competence of the president, the man who's supposed to be our global leader, representation of our country, what does that mean for us on the world stage? NATO summit in Washington, D.C. What is the significance of this NATO summit? And is Joe Biden's performance at this summit going to be consequential with our relationship with those countries who are visiting our country today. Jim Carafano on The Annie Frey Show next.
This is The Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
The Retirement Advisory Group is easy to reach by phone, 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494. When you talk to the Retirement Advisory Group about your retirement, you are going to get personalized attention. You are going to get a personalized, structured income plan that takes the worry, the anxiety, the unknown out of what retirement is going to look like for you. So the Retirement Advisory Group focuses in on those individuals who are right there on the cusp of retirement, even those who have just retired, because that shift, that is something that you need to really key in and focus on with a few maneuvers and moves that are going to maximize the outcome of that retirement. You don't have to worry about what you don't know when you contact the Retirement Advisory Group and fill in all of those gaps and those blanks in information so that you can have that confidence that you can retire comfortably. 314-993-9494, 314-993-9494, online at retirementkey.com.
If you have a problem with the IRS, believe me, it's not going away on its own. The IRS never gives up. They have endless resources, so they control the game. Well, your tax problems can end. I'm attorney Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm, a local tax resolution firm with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. I've handled thousands of IRS cases over the last 15 years. So when you hire me, you won't be speaking long distance or sending money to some TV pitchman that's riddled with consumer complaints. Your first visit is completely free and confidential, and I'll tell you on the spot exactly how much it will cost. So call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120. Or go to Lance, D-R-U-R-Y, law.com. If you have IRS issues, you need a local attorney, you need me, Lance Drury.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Considering new windows, I want you to talk to my friends at Window World. Mark Cox here. They have got a great deal going for you right now. Up to 36 months financing, interest-free, with approved credit. They've never done this before at Window World, so take advantage of this. Call them today at 314-993-1800. Again, 314-993-1800. You hear me talk about Window World. I'm a satisfied customer. I've got their windows in my house. I've been to their offices and I've stood on these windows. I've seen how well built they are. They go in and they are meant to last. You wouldn't give a lifetime warranty on a product if you didn't think it was going to last for a long time, and they stand behind that warranty. In over 20 years of business, they have helped more than 72,000 customers in St. Louis improve the look and the thermal efficiency of their home. Call them today, get your free estimate, and ask about that 36-month financing, 314-993-1800. or windowworld.com.
Who can Missouri Republicans trust to crack down on illegal immigration and communist China? Not Jay Ashcroft. Jay Ashcroft championed a bill that allowed China to buy Missouri farmland and other property near our military bases. Ashcroft took thousands of dollars of travel from liberal groups, including one that pushed amnesty for illegal immigrants. It gets worse. Jay Ashcroft turned his back on America's veterans and opposed providing vets with any benefits at all, including discounts on hunting licenses and prescription drugs. Jay Ashcroft allowed China to buy our farmland. He vacationed with amnesty-loving liberals, and Ashcroft stiffed America's veterans. There's a better choice. As Missouri's governor, Mike Kehoe will stand with President Trump to crack down on China, secure our border, and honor our veterans. Mike Kehoe is the conservative we can trust.
Cops for Kehoe is responsible for the content of this advertising, paid for by Cops for Kehoe, and is not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Wednesday afternoon, as concern grows about President Biden's condition, former RNC spokesperson Cassie Smedley will join me.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Fry Show.
In my shoes, my toes are busted.
Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
I got a good job at the dollar store. 1 foot in the hole, 1 foot getting deeper with a broken mirror and a blown out speaker. And I ain't got much else to lose.
They've seen the deterioration. They've seen him slow down. And it's not just physically slowing down. It's repeating the same anecdote twice in an individual meeting. I've heard that from a world leader today. It's, not recognizing someone that he knew quite well when he came up and introduced him.
That's Ian Bremmer on MSNBC talking about how world leaders have taken account of what many of us have seen for quite some time in Joe Biden's abilities and cognitive capabilities as well. Let's get to our guest. Moved him from Tuesday to Wednesday, and I'm grateful he had the time for us today. Jim Carafano, who is the senior counselor to the president and E.W. Richardson Fellow for International Engagement at the Heritage Foundation. Jim, welcome back to the show. It's a pleasure to have you.
Who are you again?
Annie.
Oh, no, wait. No, never mind.
I think that you are completely cognitively capable, Jim Carafano, and you should continue this interview right now.
Okay.
I don't even want to specify the question too much, because in this last 2 weeks, at least since the debate, the American history is kind of at a fork in the road. I have to think that affects our relationship with foreign countries. And of course, we have them all in Washington, D.C. Well, some of them at the NATO summit. What do you make of it?
Yeah. And again, not political, not Republican, not Democrat. I don't do politics, but obviously, I have to be cognizant of this because you said it affects international relations and how we do. Look here, and I'm not a doctor, so I really don't feel qualified to comment on the president's cognitive abilities or what impairments he may or may not have. I'm an expert. I talk about the things that I know about. But here's what I will say. In some ways, I think the NATO summit has been a blessing for Biden. And the reason why I say that is this is a global stage. He has to get through the week and look relatively presidential. And I think that'll be good enough to do this off. There's two things going on here simultaneously. One is he does have to kind of create at least a prima facie thing that, hey, look, I can do this job. I may be impaired, but I can do this job. And doesn't everybody hate the other guy worse? And then the other thing is, we've already seen this, is the knives are coming out. They don't have an obvious national candidate. There's not time to put one forward. There's not time to go through a legitimate process. And the backstabbing and the infighting's already happened. And so I do think that people are already waking up to the fact that we are going to create a catastrophe of chaos with our own party, that we're better off, as the old saying goes, dancing with the rung that brung you, run this guy. If we lose, we lose. I really believe that the party is starting to come to that realization. As for how global leaders, look, this is already baked in. You have to remember, regardless of the state of Joe Biden's cognitive abilities, since day one, this administration has followed the exact same playbook under Barack Obama. So they saw the shtick for 8 years under Obama. They saw it for 4 years under Biden. It is very predictable, the kind of foreign policy that this administration is going to come out with. And so I honestly don't think Biden's impairments or ability is really an issue for the international community, because they know these guys and they know what they're going to get. And I think that's true for foes and friends.
Yeah, I mean, we've heard stories of world leaders commenting on the president's, physical presence maybe is right. How you could broadly define it. It's not like it's brand new information. It just seems like the people who are shocked by this is, ironically, the media, who are supposed to be the ones
exactly who's supposed to be right.
digging in and getting to the bottom of it.
And the reality is, look, in our system, the president of the United States' power is not there's only two things you can do. He can either be president, or he can be removed from office by impeachment, or invoking the 25th Amendment, or an election. Period. There's no middle ground there. And the point is it doesn't matter if he's impaired or cognitive deficient, as long as he is capable of making a decision, then he remains the president of the United States. And honestly, the president can pretty much delegate everything except, signing his name and saying yes and no. Mm-hmm. This is just the reality of how we're governed. I'm waiting for what's going to happen? We're at 5 minutes because the president has already tried out, the elites are trying to get rid of me, right? This is like the people must save me. And the next one is going to be, our president is disabled. Do you hate disabled people?
That's what the stutter has been the entire time.
Right. If this is like, would you not elect somebody with one arm just because a president, Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. But I don't know.
There's always an exit ramp, and you can usually see it coming. Jim Carafano with us right now. I want to ask you about the NATO summit. I don't think that the common person's like, NATO summit. Obviously, that means XYZ. What is the NATO summit, and what Joe Biden has been talking a lot about how great he's been with NATO and how he's brought new people in. Can you kind of sum that up for us?
Sure. I mean, it's the annual meeting of the leaders of NATO. It's completely irrelevant because nothing's really happening here. And this was supposed to take place in May. They moved it to July because the president because they thought it would be good politics. I'll look super, which, by the way, is not the purpose of the NATO summit for American domestic politics. But the president thought, I'll look very presidential, and we'll kind of step on the Republican National Convention, right? And, Trump's all anti-NATO, which none of it, by the way, is true. And he hasn't actually been anti-NATO or anti-Ukraine or any of that. So moving it to July accomplished nothing other than making a lot of poor people very miserable trying to get around town in the horrific heat here and having to walk to stuff in the traffic. But it's accomplished nothing other than it's actually, ironically, but I didn't think they didn't know this was going to happen. It's given them a stage for the president to actually look presidential in a very kind of structured environment, which is what he really, really needs right now. But in terms of, is any foreign policy going to change? Are we going to World War III? Is NATO going to disband? None of that's going to happen. It is literally a nothing burger meeting with a side of nothing burger fries, a little nothing burger sauce, and a nothing burger shake to wash it down with.
In 110 heat index. I was in Washington, D.C. this past weekend to watch the Cardinals play, and it was miserable. And I'm in the Midwest is known for its heat and humidity. It was awful there. I wanted to play this clip from Trump and Kill Me this morning.
So there's people that believe that you want to get out of NATO. Is that what you want to do?
I just want them to pay their bills. We're protecting Europe. They take advantage of us very badly.
So when you hear President Trump say, I just want them to pay their bills, he's not saying he wants to leave NATO. What does that mean when Trump says that he's trying to get the people involved in NATO to participate a little bit more?
Well, I think it's exactly right. Every member of NATO needs to carry their fair share of the load. It's a collective defense alliance. They need to do their job, and they need to do more of their job because it's their territory, which is at most at risk here. And you know what? A lot of NATO has responded to that call. And actually, Trump does not get enough credit for being right that NATO to do more, that it needed to modernize, that people need to put more into it, that Nord Stream 2 is a bad idea, that, in fact, Trump was the first guy to arm the Ukrainians. He's right on NATO all along. And when he says exactly what he means, which is we need a better NATO, we need a more responsible NATO, and many countries in NATO are responding to Donald Trump's call. So he's not going to leave NATO. But for a simple reason, they're doing exactly what Donald Trump wants them to do.
Last question before we let you go. We're always appreciative of your time. Jim Carafano with us right now. When you hear from the press conferences and Karine Jean-Pierre and other people who are commenting on the president and his schedule, and he doesn't want any more 8 p.m. meetings. He's really functioning between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Everyone's like, what happens when you get the 2 a.m. call and it's to stop World War III? That's a very serious scenario, but it is within the realm of possibility, I suppose. Are people jumping the gun thinking that the president needs to be awake and lucid for 24 hours, or is that concerning to you?
Well, I mean, look, Biden actually has taken 3 a.m. phone calls. I mean, but the other reality is and this is where you're saying, well, the media is not doing the job. From day one, Biden has worked from 10 to 2.
10 to 2.
And 10 to 2. And they normally take a lid at the White House at 2 o'clock, not 4 o'clock. And he normally takes a long weekend. So this has been his work pace since day one. So, yeah. I mean, that's just matter of fact. There's a team, and this is not a big secret, but there's a team of guys who follow the president around the White House just to make sure he doesn't get lost or do something stupid. They're called the Fall Guys. That's the pet name for them. It's the Fall Guys team. And this isn't new. This didn't happen yesterday. This has actually been the state of the president's capacity to work since day one. But maybe the reason why we've never noticed this is because Joe Biden's also lazy.
Yeah, I think that the sympathy that people might be feeling for the old but well-meaning elderly man, that if you remember what he was like and what he has done in his time when he was super lucid, it's not really all sunshine and roses.
Well, I would just say this. He is not a well-meaning man, and he's not a nice man, and he's not a moral man, but he is old.
Okay. Well, we got part of it right. Jim Carafano, thank you for the time on a Wednesday. We're grateful to talk to you.
You bet. Anytime.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. He is the senior counselor to the president and E.W. Richardson Fellow for International Engagement at the Heritage Foundation. It's pretty I'll say specific, his assessment there of Joe Biden at the end. Quick break. When we come back, Ryan's coming back in the studio with us. So Wiggins here in just a minute. And the YouTube live chat poll, let's kick this one around a little bit. What will Joe Biden do? Is he going to drop out of the race? Is he going to resign as the candidate and as the president? Will he remain in both? Or is he going to win in November? Hey, it's one of the possibilities. It is out there. So you're saying there's a chance. YouTube on Annie Fry YouTube channel. Today's live broadcast in the live chat. Go vote. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Michael's Flooring Outlet is easy to find online at igotfloored.com. Have you visited their website yet? Everything you need to know to encourage you to go visit them in store, you're going to be able to see that at igotfloored.com, a list of the different products that they sell. So if you're thinking about doing a bathroom, you're probably looking for a certain kind of flooring, probably a little bit different than what you're going to put into your bedroom or maybe into your newly refinished basement. Whatever your product you're looking for, when you go to Michael's Flooring Outlet, you're going to get the education that you need on why maybe this type of flooring and not that type of flooring. You're going to understand your investment levels. They're going to respect and understand your budget, and you're going to make a great choice. They have the best brands in the business. I can list off Smart Strand Mohawk Silk line, the Techwood Plus line. Whatever your search is trying to seek out, Michael's is going to be able to pair you up with quality flooring at a wonderful price and with the best people in the business. Family owned and operated for over 30 years, Michael's Flooring Outlet is excited to meet you. Tell them Annie sent you. You can find them online right now at igotfloored.com.
At Odyssey, we believe in casting a wide net to create a diverse and inclusive workforce, as we value the power of community and encourage local organizations to help us in referring qualified applicants to our stations. If you're a community organization interested in receiving our vacancy information, simply email equalemployment@odyssey.com. You'll be directly notified of our open positions. Again, that's equalemployment@odyssey.com. And for our listeners, we invite you to visit odysseyinc.com/careers. There, you'll find an online listing of job openings at all Odyssey radio stations.
We all have someone we love, like the favorite lyric in our favorite song. You can't imagine life without them. So tell them today, I love you. Get screened. It could help save their life. Visit cancer.org/getscreened to learn more.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. With Ramp, you get full visibility into your company's spending and control who spends what with each vendor. Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts instantly to save your team valuable time. Ramp automates data entry and routine tasks with automated approvals, expense categorization and bill payments, time-consuming tasks. Which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. Get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/free. Ramp.com/free. RAMP.com/free.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for the Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. I depend on them for eye care, and they have an announcement. They're pleased to welcome Dr. Samuel Berry to their practice. Dr. Berry is a cornea surgeon, and he has the latest knowledge and techniques for advanced eye care and treatment in the field. So what do we call them now? The doctors? No, just the best doctors to see for your best vision. In St. Louis, you can reach them at 314-966-5000. They've treated more than 250 doctors, more than any others in the practice. Now, if you need help with dry eye, LASIK surgery, maybe you have glaucoma, macular degeneration. I had an eye disease when I was just 25 years old, so my eyes are very important to me. You get the absolute best care with the Doctors of Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Bersati, Andy Royer, and now Dr. Samuel Berry. 314-966-5000 or visit youridoc.com. They have a great location just off Manchester Road, a half-mile west of 270. Ophthalmology Associates.
I got a hot tip for you. We're going to give away tickets to see Train and REO Speedwagon on July 16th before the end of this hour, so stick around. Just before 2 o'clock, we'll do that. The YouTube live chat poll for today, what will Joe Biden do? Will he drop out of the race? Will he resign as candidate and president? Will he remain in both, or will he win re-election? Let us know what you think by typing in Annie Fry on YouTube, and you can vote there every single day. We have those. 1:45. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Who are you voting for in the Missouri governor's primary? Join me, Annie Fry, for the Republican Governors Forum this Thursday. Register for this free event presented by the Republican Central Committee of St. Louis County at 971talk.com/events.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Follow Annie on Instagram at The Annie Fry Show.
When lights close the tired eyes, I'll soon be with you, my love. Give you my dawn surprise. I'll be with you, darling, soon.
My colleague Dana Bash reported that you, Senator John Tester, and Senator Sherrod Brown all said during that lunch that you don't think President Biden can win in 2024. Is that true?
Well, it's true that I said that, and I did say that behind closed doors, and you guys and others asked whether I had said it, and that is what I said. So I figured I should come here and say it publicly.
Why do you think he can't win in November?
I just think this race is on a trajectory that is very worrisome if you care about the future of this country. Joe Biden was 9 points up at this time, the last time he was running. Hillary Clinton was 5 points up. This is the first time in more than 20 years that a Republican president has been up in this part of the campaign. Donald Trump is on track, I think, to win this election and maybe win it by a landslide and take with him the Senate and the House.
Senator Michael Bennet, Democrat in Colorado, talking to Caitlin Collins there, and they aren't doing okay. Everybody is starting to panic a little bit. And a lot of it has to do with the polling numbers. I'm looking at the 2024 general election, Trump versus Biden. I guess this is the aggregate from realclearpolling.com. Trump is plus 3.3. And, you know, if you look at the general election and you see that he's winning the general, it doesn't take long to go through and look state by state and see in Wisconsin, Trump's up 2.2. In Arizona, up 5.4. In Nevada, up 5.2. That's significant. And it seems as though it's going to only continue to progress in this way. The 2024 generic congressional vote, Republicans are up 0.9 on the Real Clear polling averages here. So there's a lot at stake. It's really much, much bigger than just Biden versus Trump. The waterfall effect of Joe Biden being a weak candidate is very significant, which is why you see people like Bennett out there talking about his worry about the election as a whole. So our YouTube live chat poll for today, if you go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel, what will Joe Biden do? Because what Joe Biden does is dramatically going to affect the rest of the Democratic Party. And every election that exist across the rest of the country, Joe Biden's answer to this question dramatically affects those. Is he going to drop out of the race so he could finish that? That implies that he'd finish his presidency. He drops out of the race. Another Democrat steps in and tries to become the president that would be sworn in January. So he drops out of the race. That's one option. He resigns, of course, as the nominee candidate and as the president of the United States, which means we'd have Kamala Harris and then some other nominee, maybe Kamala, maybe somebody else. He remains in both. He continues on the direction he's taking right now, says, no, I'm it. I ran. They voted for me. I got the delegates. I have the presidency. I'm not going anywhere. Or one step further, he remains and he wins re-election. Brian, what do you think?
It's getting harder and harder to say this, but remain in both. When somebody comes out,
I will go down with this ship.
Oh yeah, I'm on the Titanic at this point. I'm sticking with my guy, Joe Biden.
You and Joe Biden.
Riding with Biden.
Yeah, riding with Biden. I hate that I have to say this, but when somebody like George Clooney comes out,
He didn't sway you at all?
No, it does. It's getting harder to say. When somebody like him, I mean, I can't think of somebody other than maybe Brad Pitt who would be more like the face of Hollywood. He just did
Brad Pitt is very controversial, though. His relationship and divorce with Angelina Jolie, who is another, a celebrity. I think she kind of got the positivity in the divorce, and Brad Pitt didn't. George Clooney doesn't really have baggage.
No.
He's just very handsome. He only gets handsomer, and he's a great actor. He's great at his craft. So for him to be able to go out and to kind of sway and push Hollywood around, I mean, he might be the perfect voice.
Yeah, he really is. And for him to have just done that fundraiser, 2-3 weeks ago.
Does it also matter to you that, like, George Clooney he's always kind of been involved in this capacity, but he's not of the generation that has gone on to TikTok or social media to comment on every issue. Like, he only gets involved when it really matters. He's of the generation that existed when celebrities were celebrities.
Yeah, he's like Hollywood royalty.
Yes. We don't have that anymore.
No, I don't know that we ever will.
No.
I mean, this generation of Hollywood is probably the last of that.
I'm okay
royal
with
Hollywood.
it because it's too much. And the reason why they were that way is because we didn't know so much about him. It was a mystery. Now we know everything. Too much.
But George Clooney, you're right, is not Michael Rappaport that every time anything happens, he's getting online and telling people what he thinks about it.
Man, that guy's not okay either.
No. But this kind of stuff does matter. I mean, this over and over, what we're seeing to me is people coming out and giving more and more license for other people to come out.
Cover.
To where it's going to get to the point where there's nobody left who's really in Biden's corner. Will he stand up to everybody in the entire party and say no?
He doesn't really need to have anybody in his corner.
He doesn't. He can still go and make this thing work.
He should say, you put me here.
Yes. But that's where we're at. I mean, that's what's so amazing about waking up every day, coming in here and talking about politics right now. It is crazy. I mean, if you're listening, you're tuning in because, like, what is happening today?
Yeah.
This is crazy, and that's just the latest. So it does get harder and harder to say, but it's still up to Biden. So I'm going to ride with the dude, remain in both.
Oh, so it's up to me now, and I'm looking at this, and the closest one and the one that I voted for to what I think will happen is Resign candidate and president. I think he will not be the president, and I don't think he'll be the candidate. But I'm not sure that it's going to be a resignation. I think it'll be a medical emergency of some sort that will force him out. And if he's incapacitated in some way, it might be 25th Amendment. If he's still,
so you're saying he's going to do what?
He's going to resign and both. He's going to resign on both. President.
He gone.
Yeah, he won't be either one. And if if he gets through this medical emergency, I think it'll scare him enough to say, no more for me.
So you're saying that he resigns as the president and Kamala becomes president?
Yes. So, like the other day, my vote would have been 45 and 48 for Donald Trump.
You said you were 45 and 47?
Yeah, because I still don't think he's going to leave.
Yeah, I know. That's why you're here.
I have to provide some dissension.
You're our diversity hire.
Yeah, thank you.
To Ryan's point, though, all he really needs is behind him. All he really needs behind him is Joe Biden and Hunter Biden just holding him up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
As
exactly.
it's going on. They're hiding behind while he catches all the flack from everybody, but they're propping him up.
Here's another angle to this, though, I'm making an argument against myself here, that at some point, if Jill Biden is really just doing this because she wants to keep the pomp and circumstance, maybe the power, who knows exactly what she's doing.
She might be running the world.
Exactly.
She might be making the decisions.
Yeah, she might be holding his hand while he signs the papers behind closed doors. We don't know. But if she really wants to keep her esteem, if that's her goal, then people like George Clooney coming out and the whole establishment turning on you, if you lose, you will not have that for the rest of your life.
I don't think she wants the esteem. I think she wants the position.
And that would be the reason why she would continue to push him. Because if she wants to be favored like the Obamas for the rest of her life, at this point, she would want to drop out or want him to drop out.
I've just been, while we've been having this conversation, reading Michael Rappaport's timeline.
Oh, yeah.
How's he doing?
I'm glad I brought him up.
He appears to be a single issue voter, and he is just absolutely aghast and disgusted by the Hamas supporters and the Gaza, the people who like fail to see the truth of what is actually in existence here. And he's not like, I haven't come across, well, good grief, I've been scrolling this whole time and I'm only 5 hours into his timeline.
Oh, yeah? That's just today?
Yeah.
Wow.
He retweeted Elise Stefanik, didn't comment on it, but retweeted it. And she was saying, pro-Israel types of things. There's not a lot that he says on here that I can read on the air. I don't understand what all of these words and
just
things
give it a
mean.
shot.
No.
No?
No.
All right.
No. It's interesting to see the segmentation of people who are supposed to just get in lockstep and step in line. And it was a lot easier when they could keep Joe Biden behind closed doors. Guys, folks, remember, Howard Stern had Joe Biden on the show. And he was asked about a debate. He goes, yeah, let's go anywhere, any place, anytime. I don't think that it was the intention of Joe Biden to debate Donald Trump. But Joe Biden'd because he must have not had the appropriate script in front of him, or Howard Stern asked a harmless question. I bet you Howard Stern would take back that question immediately if he could. I think this is all Howard Stern's fault. That's awesome. We'll be right back.
The light shining through one.
Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from the Timeshare Exit Hotline, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get out of their expensive timeshare contracts. We're offering you a way to legally get rid of your timeshare. So if you're fed up with the maintenance fees that keep on coming and want to learn if you can terminate your timeshare legally and permanently, call today. Even if you've tried before and were unsuccessful in getting rid of your timeshare, call today and see if we can help. We offer a complete 100% unconditional client satisfaction guarantee. Make this completely free call and learn how we can help you legally put an end to your timeshare nightmare once and for all. You have nothing to lose, so call right now to qualify and receive a free consultation.
Call 800-838-8614. 800-838-8614. That's 800-838-8614.
Paid for by Airtime Media.
Point Pest Control, Point with an E. I think Ryan Wiggins is single-handedly keeping them in business right now. Is that true?
Yeah, multiple times this week.
Yeah.
Different houses. Couple different houses.
I wish you would have taken care of your mouse problem and you would have had them out for that, and that we wouldn't have been regaled with that story. But I also am glad that we now have that.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Point Pest Control offers a wide array of services. If you're 636-798-0023, 636-798-0023. If you call them and you mention my name, you're going to get to save an extra 10% discount on the top of any specials. And if you become a frequent flyer like Ryan Wiggins at Point Pest Control, that's probably going to be helpful along the way. They can help you with termite problems. They can spray for mosquitoes right now, which nobody likes to enjoy these summer nights getting bit up by mosquitoes. Get rid of them. Call Point Pest Control and have them come out and help you out. Spiders, crickets, mice, ants, all of it. They take care of it. They are wonderful at my house. I subscribe to the Premier Service Plan, and I encourage you to do it as well. PointPestControl.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Reinforcements on Capitol Hill. Elisa Brady, Fox News. Senior advisors to President Biden are reportedly set to brief Senate Democrats tomorrow, along with the Biden campaign chair, as questions persist about his reelection bid. Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi telling MSNBC it's up to the president to decide if he'll keep running, but she also notes the importance of the NATO summit that he's currently hosting.
Let's just hold off. Whatever you're thinking, either tell somebody privately, but you don't have to put that out on the table until we see how we go this week.
Some concerned Democrats aren't waiting, though. New York Congressman Pat Ryan becoming the 8th Democrat in Congress to publicly call for a new nominee. And actor George Clooney writes in a New York Times op-ed that President Biden on the debate stage was the same one he saw at a fundraiser several weeks ago, also urging him to drop out of the race. For now, the president is focused on the NATO summit, where allies are making new commitments to bolster defense production.
Russia's defense industry is on a wartime footing with the help, President Biden says, of Iran, North Korea, and China.
We cannot, in my view, we cannot allow the alliance to fall behind.
Speaking at the NATO summit here in Washington, the president says all member nations are pledging to develop plans for domestic defense production.
That means, as an alliance, we'll become more innovative and competitive.
And President Biden says NATO will be able to produce more weapons and defense equipment more quickly at a time it may be needed.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. A gang member pleads guilty in New York to racketeering and firearms charges in a case involving 8 murders, including the killings of 2 high school girls hacked and beaten to death in their own neighborhood in 2016. The 29-year-old leader of an MS-13 gang clique faces 40 to 70 years in prison under the plea deal. America is listening to Fox News.
Ugh, I've been feeling so sluggish and just kind of blah. Been there. That's why I take Align yogurt-coated probiotic fruit bites.
But I suppose they taste blah.
Actually, they taste delicious. It's an apple blueberry flavored center covered in a yogurt coating and is infused with probiotics to help support a healthy gut. They come 5 in a pouch. I just toss one in my bag and go.
Toss one in my bag?
Get your own.
New Align yogurt-coated probiotic fruit bites from the makers of the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand. Find them in the digestive care aisle.
The doctor's office that accidentally mixed up your files has your social security number. The power company that mistakenly cut your service has your payment info. And the hotel that lost your reservation has your passport number. You need LifeLock because your personal info is in endless places that can expose you to identity thieves. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Plenty of sunshine in play going through our Wednesday afternoon, but with all the rain, we have a chance of a spot thunderstorm developing only because there's so much moisture in the low levels of the atmosphere. 84 for the high. Tonight, some spot evening storms, otherwise partly cloudy, 68. Same kind of setup on Thursday. Partly sunny skies. We'll watch for some spot afternoon storms on Thursday, 86. Friday, sunny and 91. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Window World, the windows that you can get that are simply the best for less, is excited to be offering up to 36 months same as cash financing with approved credit. This is unprecedented for them. They haven't done this before, and they want to welcome you in to qualify for that. If you go to windowworld.com, you can learn more about up to 36 months same as cash financing with approved credit, but you can also give them a call and speak directly to them. Have them out to your house for an in-home estimate, a free in-home estimate, 314-993-1800. It matters to me that they don't engage in super high-pressure sales. I'm allergic to that. If I am in a situation where someone is coming on way too strong, it is like, no, I'm not interested in any bit of what you got going on here. That's not what happens at Window World. They know that they have the best windows that they can install in your house for a great price, and they're confident in the quality and the service that they offer, that they don't have to engage in those high-pressure situations. 314-993-1800. Reach out to them. Tell them Annie let you know about Window World, the windows that are simply the best for less. windowworld.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
You entrusted a nursing home with the care of a loved one, but they violated that trust. If your family member has been the victim of nursing home neglect, call Onder Law at 844-BEDSORE.
Liberal mega donors are always looking for new rhinos to do their bidding. And with Adam Schnelting, they found their new star. Adam Schnelting has already backed their radical plan to defund our police. And he skipped countless important conservative votes. Skipped a vote to protect kids from sexually explicit materials in school. And skipped a vote to protect churches from junk lawsuits. It's no wonder Adam Schnelting is bankrolled by Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, and Joe Biden's top funders. Bill Cristofanelli is the only leader we can trust to protect our conservative priorities. When radicals tried to defund the police, Bill Cristofanelli passed record funding from Missouri's law enforcement. When Joe Biden left our southern border wide open, conservative Bill Cristofanelli banned sanctuary cities and voted to send Missouri National Guard troops to secure the border. Vote Bill Cristofanelli, the proven conservative, for state senate.
Gladius PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising, paid for by Gladius PAC, and is not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
The Missouri Republican Governors Forum is this Thursday, and we're carrying it live. Presented by the Republican Central Committee of St. Louis County and moderated by Annie Fry. Democracy 2024 on 97.1 FM Talk.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We are grateful that you're here with us this afternoon. We've got a YouTube poll for you to weigh in on. We're going to read some of your comments that you've reacted so far to the question, what should Joe Biden do? But before we do that, we've got some tickets. We were supposed to give them away in the 2 o'clock hour. And then
REO
we forgot. So
yeah.
You take it from here.
Train and REO Speedwagon. If you want to win tickets to see them on July 16th at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater, now is the time. Here is your phone number, 314-241-9797. 314-241-9797. Be the 9th caller, and you will get a pair of tickets.
That's pretty fun. So go, give us a call. And what caller? What did you say?
Number 9.
Number 9. Caller number 9. President Biden's making the case that he is still, he's the guy. He's really not publicly giving any indication whatsoever that he is not going to continue to be the guy. He feels very confident in it. He's spoken on the issue.
You know, I come from a household with a 3-bedroom. We weren't poor, but we didn't have anything left over at the end of the month. And, but, you know, 3-bedroom house, 4 kids, grandpa lived with us, someone lived with us full time. I look back now and wonder, how my dad handled those thin walls. But at any rate.
What?
Oh. All right. All right. That's old Joe right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you mean like vintage?
Vintage Joe.
Vintage
Joe.
Or
thank you.
Aged.
No. Vintage. Thin walls.
It's weird that he
guided this alliance through one of the most consequential periods in its history. I realize, I was talking to your wife, I personally asked you to extend your service. Forgive me.
Again. What?
Now that's old Joe. Aged.
Yeah. Vintage, old. He's not in any of these situations that he's being put out there, trotted out on stage so he can show us he's still got it. I have yet to hear a single opportunity where I'm like, well, this is different. Okay. He was speaking in front of the laborers earlier today. And, you know, if he doesn't have prepared remarks for these things, he has prepared remarks. He's just not holding them or reading them. But he says something and then he expects there to be applause. And he always goes, no, 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 no. Like he says something that's like supposed to get the people going. And he'll say, no, no, no. And then he'll do his not a joke, or he'll say, I'm serious, or something to that effect. But there were nobody, like he was doing that. He was saying the no, 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 and people weren't doing anything. Like, what are you talking about? He is on autopilot. Yeah. I think he's done this for so long. I mean, he's been in politics for 50 years. He has had great success. He's the president of the United States. He's been a United States senator for 40 years or something like that. He's been the vice president. He's done basically all there is to do. So I really look at these opportunities for him to stand in front of people and make these comments and think, you know, what are your crutches? What do you fall back on? And his speeches now, when he's speaking unscripted, they are scripted in the sense that it's just a bunch of his bingo card squares. Mm-hmm. I could do a Joe Biden speech right now by getting out my Biden bingo card and just reading it to you.
Yeah.
And it would sound like a speech that he gives.
And what's amazing is that this is his international, no, don't worry, everybody, I'm okay tour. He's failing to deliver that, as evidenced by all the people who are coming out and saying, look, man, you're not calming our fears here. You're not the guy. Joe Biden apparently still thinks he's the guy, though.
The folks are not okay. The people that are downstream from Joe Biden's decision are not okay. Betsy says about our poll today, what will Joe Biden do? Betsy said, I marked drop out. However, seems he is stubborn and will stay. He isn't going to listen to anyone. Jennifer says, I voted remain in both. Jill isn't ready to give up the power and prestige. And the, quote, verbal check-in a couple times a week, end quote, is because he hasn't found her Dave yet. I guess that's the doppelganger. I remember that movie. We're hearing what Tim Kaine, I just saw a video on Twitter. Tim Kaine is out saying, he's like, I've got full confidence that Joe will know to do the right thing because he's a patriotic American. I'm like, oh, you're saying something there without saying something. That is a statement. We're seeing various people come out and basically say everything that they can say to be like, Joe, it's time to go. Without being like, Joe, you got to quit. You've got to bail. Abort the situation, not just the babies. That's what the Democrat Party would say. Meanwhile, you familiar with a woman named Becky Pringle?
Love the name.
Do you?
Do not know who she is, though.
Special interest groups, I was saying he was speaking to the laborers earlier this morning. I mean, they vote somewhat as a block, but I have talked to plenty of people when we were at Jerry's Cafeteria a week or two ago. Was it a week or two ago? It was a week ago.
Yeah.
It's a Granite City. A lot of blue-collar people came out. We packed the room. Encourage you to go to jerryscafeteria.com if you want to check out a really, really great place to get cafeteria-based food, to get catering. The food was amazing. But a lot of blue-collar workers there. And, you know, the picture that the left would paint about the Republican Party today, the Trump Republican Party today, doesn't look like Jerry's Cafeteria, like people like our families that were there, people who are working hard and trying to make ends meet and enjoy a good meal out if they can so afford it. But the left wants to make it seem like the Republican Party is out of touch and that they are not aware of what middle America, they're only interested in, the billionaires and the trillionaires. Wasn't it in the debate where Biden said, got 1,000 trillionaires in this country?
Yeah.
It's like, wow, we could solve this problem pretty fast then.
That's great.
Let's just make a deal with a few of them. Yeah. All of these special interests have these handshake deals with the Democrat Party. And yes, there are special interests that have handshake deals with the Republican Party. It goes on both sides. But when it comes to education in our country and the understanding that one of the greatest influencers on voting in our state legislatures, but also in Congress, it's the NEA. And is it the NFT? Is that the other one? National Federation of Teachers? That's Randy Weingarten's is NFT. Side note, Joe Biden was giving a speech one time, and it was tobacco, firearms, and what is it?
Alcohol,
ATF?
tobacco.
ATF? Yeah. He kept talking. It was supposed to be about guns. And I think he was in the Rose Garden. He kept talking about the president of, I guess it's the NFT, National Federation of Teachers. Is that what it is?
Yep.
He kept saying that instead of
instead of ATF?
Yeah. And I was like, whoever that person is sitting there going, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Randy Weingartner's like, wait a minute.
And I mean, like, this was literally 3 years ago, potentially more. And he said it over and over and over again. It's like somebody needs to slip him a new note card. Maybe it was wrong on the note card. Never even thought about that. The NEA president, they had a convention. I think it was in maybe Pennsylvania or somewhere up there. These people are not normal people. The NEA is not interested. It's the NEA, the National Education Association, is not in it for kids. They will tell you that. They are in it for the teachers. There's nothing wrong with the teachers, with public school teachers wanting to not be taken advantage of and to be able to have good, safe work environments. I don't have any problem with that. But the NEA is not about the teachers even either. It's about being a parasite on the teachers so that they can subsidize the Democrat Party. And I don't know about you, but it feels as though they might be having a moment.
Depending on us to win all the things. NEA, we have to win all the things.
That's Becky Pringle.
Oh, that's Becky Pringle?
She's the president of the NEA, but she's not done yet.
All the things. All the things.
How many of the things?
Our colleagues are depending on us to win all the things.
Okay.
Keep going, NEA. To preserve our democracy, we must win all the things. Delegates, we won't go back. We will keep going forward because we are the...
You need to make this your morning alarm.
NEA! We are the NEA! We are the NEA!
Man.
All right, I'll get up. Fine.
I wish you would have been less specific about the things that she was hoping to win.
All of them. It doesn't matter which thing it is. We want to win it.
You want to win that one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Pringle for president.
That's psychotic. I don't care if someone is trying to sell me on the idea that I should have $1 million a month just bestowed upon me. If they propose it to me, I'm like, I'm not willing to take this deal.
That's amazing. I mean, not just the win all the things and the passion, but it's also at the end like, we're the freaking NEA!
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
You understand? We're coming from the top ropes. Like, it was like, whoa, are you that invested in the NEA? Because it sounds like you are. I just wonder what the crowd's doing.
I just wonder what happens if you lose.
Oh, man, yeah. Ooh, man.
Ay, ay, ay.
Oh, man, I feel sorry for Becky
She
Pringle
just goes
today.
out there and says we lost all the things.
We lost all, same fervor.
Our colleagues are depending on us.
What? Situation's dire.
Yeah.
To win all the things.
I mean, it's very, I have a dream.
In 4 years, Becky Pringle wants you to know you're going to be tired of winning.
Isn't it better because her name is Becky Pringle?
Yeah, it is.
That sounds like the name of a character in Family Guy.
Yes, it does.
Or one of those Adult Swim shows.
I do the same thing with Debbie Dingle. The congressperson who I think honestly gets interviewed because people like saying her name.
Dingle?
Yeah.
And then they go...
I mean, it's not just Dingle. It's Debbie Dingle.
Keep going, NEA!
The NEA was like, all right, I think we're ready to win, and then we'll stop. And then she's like, no.
To preserve our democracy!
She's banging the podium while she's saying this. I mean, when she's saying all the things, she's got both hands in the air, and she's like bearing back away from him. And I just like, call a priest.
We must win all the things!
Yeah.
I watched that clip, and the people behind her, about half the time, they're like, yeah, this is pretty good. The other half, they're like, I'm not really sure if I should be nodding anymore. I've nodded quite a bit. I think I might be done.
The song, I Feel Good, I know that I would.
James Brown?
Was that called I Feel Good? I don't know what it's called.
I think so.
You know how it starts?
Wow.
Have you ever seen, there's like, that's pretty good. That might even be the right note. Have you ever seen people hide Bluetooth speakers in people's houses?
Yeah.
And
those are good.
you just hide it, and then you play it at full blast, and it does that.
Wow.
Yeah, and people like are throwing frying pans in the air and knocking over things in the garage. I just think that maybe
Delegates, we won't go back. We will keep going forward because we are the NEA. We are the NEA.
Do you think the NFT's down the road going, guys, we have got to step up our game?
You know what I think, though, after listening to it a couple times now, is that she may have written a speech and said, I'll come back later and fill in these blanks. And then forgot.
They forgot.
And then came back later and was
panicked.
like, we got to move forward, not backward.
Maybe it was a teleprompter and maybe it got like caught
Stuck.
and just kept
all the things. All the
God,
things.
how am I going to make this sound different?
All the things. Oh, shoot. I mean, we need to keep going. Everything's on the line. It's just a bunch of lines.
Man, if you're a member of the NEA, I don't know, is the Missouri version of that called the MEA? I know it's the IEA.
No idea.
You're thinking reconsidering any of that?
Well, I've heard that Randy Weingartner is losing a lot of influence because districts and states are dropping out of her organization.
I know several Illinois districts that are in the NFT. I think it doesn't feel like that's the right acronym, but I'm making fun of Joe Biden for saying ATF NFT, and I'm like, I think it's NFT.
Well, I know what organization you're talking about, though, because
Yeah.
it's Randy Weingartner. She's everywhere.
Yeah.
She's all over the place out there promoting that.
Let's win all the things. I wish we were that passionate about our job. Or
Well, sometimes
maybe
we are.
that scared to lose our job. We should take a break. What will Joe Biden do? Is he going to drop out of the race? Is he going to resign? Is he going to remain as candidate and president? Or is he going to win the whole freaking thing in November? Gosh, that's like part of the equation. What if Joe Biden wins? The Karine Jean-Pierre press conference yesterday, she committed that he said that he would serve all 4 years.
I believe every word she says.
That's how you win all the things. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Point Pest Control. It's point with an E. Point Pest Control. You can call them at 636-798-0023, 636-798-0023. When you sign up for their premium service plan, I am a paying customer of their premium service plan and grateful to be. You get quarterly treatments, and they keep those pests at bay all year round. You don't have to worry about it. They've told me, and they'll tell you if you see bugs in between your quarterly spray or whatever it is that they do in your house, you just let them know, and they come take care of the problem. Their residential program covers all general pests, including spiders, brown recluses, ants, crickets, roaches, mice, stinging insects, bees, wasps, all that. They're on if they're in the home or around the home, as well as most insects and pests that can come into our areas that are commonly present. They can handle you with all of those. 636-798-0023. Reach out to them and start the conversation today. Whatever pest you're dealing with, they can help you with. If you don't have anything that's super pressing, but maybe you're in a new home and you just want to make sure it's taken care of from the jump, they can guide you through that whole process. Point Pest Control, point with an E, pointpestcontrol.com.
This summer, take a trip down memory lane with me and hear from the legends of baseball. I'm Brett Boone from the Brett Boone Podcast. Every week I have a conversation with one of baseball's greats to talk about the glory days and reflect on today's game. Randy Johnson, Pete Rose, Deion Sanders, Jay Buhner, Albert Bell, and Goose Gossage. They've all shared their wisdom with stories of their playing days. To hear who's next, follow and listen to the Brett Boone Podcast on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
SEL Engineering Services Incorporated has openings for its Project Engineer Protection position. The Project Engineer Protection will train and assist customers with the creation, design, configuration, validation, installation, commissioning, and operation of electric power protection systems. Positions are based at SEL Engineering Services, Fairview Heights, Illinois office. SEL Engineering Services has numerous customers nationwide, so some travel is required. The Project Engineer Protection will occasionally and on a short-term basis be deployed to various customer sites. So candidates must be willing to travel to various unanticipated locations throughout the United States on an ongoing basis. To apply, please email your resume to careers@selinc.com. That's careers@selinc.com. Discover the opportunities available at this world-class manufacturing company. SEL Engineering Services. It's not just a job, it's a future.
More good news for Frederick Roofing, voted best roofing company by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
314-645-2000.
Are you ready to shape the future? Missouri is crafting its master plan on aging, and we want to hear from you. Visit health.mo.gov/aging to share your thoughts, ideas, and concerns. We can create a vibrant, inclusive future for all generations.
But in many ways, worse than the terrible Democrats are the backstabbing rhino Republicans.
Bob Under attacked President Trump. As an anti-Trump delegate, Under conspired with never-Trumpers. No wonder Bob Under's been called Trump's worst nightmare, and why we can send him to Washington. Conservatives for American Excellence Inc. paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. ConservativeSforAmericanExcellence.com.
What better way to support your nutrition than with the multivitamin that was created right here in St. Louis? Neovitin Original Multivitamin was created by St. Louis physician Dr. Ribicki to support his own nutrition when he needed it most. Now, Neovitin Original Multivitamin is formulated with sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and Dr. Ribicki's proprietary blend to give you nutritional support you won't find anywhere else. Neovitin is now conveniently available through our no-obligation monthly subscription. Cancel or pause at any time, and shipping is free. Support your nutrition with a subscription to Neovitin at neovitin.com today.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. If you're not sure who to call for air conditioning services, contact the team at Air Comfort Service. With 55 years of experience and thousands of 5-star reviews, you can trust them with the comfort of your home. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
If you use a smart speaker, you can listen to 97.1 easier than ever. Just tell it to play 97.1 FM Talk. Or download the Odyssey app for your phone and stream the station whenever, wherever. This is the Annie Fry Show.
There's a land that is
Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
And by faith we can see it afar. And the Father waits over the way to prepare us a dwelling place there. In the sweet by and by, we shall meet on that beautiful shore. In the sweet by and by, we shall meet on that beautiful shore.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Ryan was just mentioning the Brian Kilmeade interview with Donald Trump this morning, and we were collectively agreeing that it wasn't like a dramatic interview.
No, not at all. It was really the same kind of things he always says. He just kind of said the same thing. NATO, He mentions them a lot. They got to pay their fair share.
Was there any news out of the rally last night? I tried to watch some of it, but I was visiting family and just had a lot to do.
I think the news, which was not news, was about him challenging Joe Biden to another debate or to golf. Yeah.
Do we have that clip? I
Yes.
want to play it because it's pretty funny the way he does it in his Trump way.
I'm also officially challenging Cricket Joe to an 18-hole golf match right here.
Golf.
Underows Blue Monster, considered one of the greatest tournament golf courses anywhere in the world, one of the great courses of the world. It will be among the most watched sporting events in history.
It would be.
Maybe bigger than the Ryder Cup or even the Masters. And I will even give Joe Biden 10 strokes aside. 10 strokes. That's
20
a lot.
strokes.
That's a lot.
That means 20 strokes in case you don't play golf.
Golf.
I will give him 10 strokes aside, and if he wins, I will give the charity of his choice, any charity that he wants, $1 million. And I'll bet you he doesn't take the offer.
Of course he's not going to take the offer. I don't know if he got Hoka golf shoes that he can go out there and be super comfortable and stable the entire time, but he struggles. Smart move.
Can you imagine watching that round?
I would clear my schedule.
Heck yes. America would watch that probably more than the debate.
And if you sold tickets to be able to view it, which would be a Secret Service nightmare, but
Yeah.
No, you don't even need to sell tickets. Make it pay-per-view, mic them up.
Yes. I'm in on that.
How much money would you charge or pay to see that? I'd pay $50.
I was going to say 100 right off the bat.
Yeah.
I'd pay 100. I'd pay 100 just to sit there alone and watch it. Not even like invite my friends over.
Yeah.
I would pay $100 to watch, because that round is not. If your normal golf round is 4.5 hours, that one's taken 7. That's your whole day.
And
$100.
They're both going to have good shots and bad shots.
Yeah.
Don't you want to hear that's all they do is smack talk.
Yeah.
Only if you carry your bag. Okay, Joe Biden, you going to carry your golf bag? Can you carry your golf bag? Does it have golf clubs in it?
Yeah. Yeah, some of the threats from Biden on the golf stuff are a little surprising. Like, he really does seem like he's locked into a few years ago on a lot of this stuff. Kind of like we've been saying, that he's just kind of a shell of what he used to be. He's kind of reverting back to, this is what I used to do.
I just think he is an absolute, total, abject liar. I think he's always said wild and crazy things. I mean, you can go back and look at, he's been accused of and admitted to plagiarism when he had his total wits about him. I'm trying.
He lied about being top in his class.
He. What's the right way to say this without getting in trouble with the FCC? He's a baloney sausager.
Sure.
That's what he is.
Yeah, he is.
Everybody knows that guy. I mean, women don't do it. It doesn't come off the same for women to be a BSer. But everybody knows the guy who's the BSer. You don't believe really anything they say. There's a portion of truth, an element, a thread of truth that exists in what they say, but they're always full of crap. It's how they talk. And that's how he has so freely spoken for decades in Washington, D.C. And he's still doing it. And he is old and wrinkly and cannot back up any of the things he's saying now any more than he could before. But now the body of work is not supporting his ability to get away with it. He lies about everything. I mean, people accuse people accuse Donald Trump of telling lies. Like, if you go back, I was reading through the CNN fact check on the debate. If you look at the things that they were fact checking him on, if they weren't technicalities, there was a lot of subjective judgment in how they fact checked Donald Trump. People say Donald Trump lied 33 times in that debate, but they couldn't tell you 33 of the lies. And if you ask them to be more specific about it, like, give me some examples, they'll say he lies about everything all the time.
Yeah.
Like, he wakes up and he breathes carbon dioxide.
Yeah.
He inhales carbon dioxide. He exhales oxygen. Everything he does is wrong. Everything he does is wrong without him even having to think about it. It's just in his DNA. He's a liar. That's what they're trying to sell you on. And in the meantime, I keep going back to this, but it's the funniest part to me of the whole debate was when they were going back and forth talking about golf. He was like, I'm a 6 handicap. And Donald Trump is like, you are not a 6 handicap. That is an absolute lie. No way you're a 6 handicap. He goes, and then Joe Biden replies and he says, absolutely, I'm an 8. And it's like, what are we doing here? This just happened. You just said 6, Mr. President. If you're going to lie, stick with the same one within the same 60-second span.
Yeah, that was weird. I mean,
and Trump just kind of turned his head and looked at the camera like, I don't even know how to amplify that more than he just did himself.
Like hummingbird memory. Like, what'd you just say? Oh, I said I was an 8 handicap. No, you did. We have it on tape. Yes, I did. I'm a 10. Just keep going. What did you say a second ago? I don't remember. Doesn't matter.
G-Wib says that maybe he meant to say he was a sick handicap.
Yeah. Oh, that's probably what it was. You know, Trump is his own kind. He's an exaggerator. I mean, he says it in that clip you just played about golf. Yeah, you know what? This is one of the greatest courses in the world. I have no idea whether that actually is a great course.
Like you've never seen.
I'm sure it is a really nice course if the former president of the United States is playing on it. But I don't know if it's one of the great courses of the world. I've never heard of it. But he says that about everything. He's always exaggerating to be the biggest.
The wall
best.
just got 10 feet taller.
Yeah.
We're going to make Mexico pay for it. These were all things that nobody took at face value. We see what it is. It's an emphasis technique in your speech.
They're exaggerations. Whereas you're right, Joe Biden does the BS thing where it's your buddy, you're driving past St. Louis Library and you go, man, that's a nice looking building. And he goes, I helped build that.
Yes. With my own 2 hands. Yeah. Actually, with one arm tied behind my back. Yeah. He'd make stuff up.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually,
one-upper.
At one point, there was going to be a statue of me in there. Now, that didn't happen.
I didn't want to be, too out in the open for people to see. They would take too much credit.
I didn't want it. That's why I didn't have it. But those are different techniques. But we do know people like that. But then it's amazing that we have seen in the media and in the White House too, Karine Jean-Pierre being one of them. Those are 2 types of kind of exaggerators, BSers. But then there are outright liars who just are willing to just say the opposite of what's true. And it has gotten so sick in the last few years that you used to look for the little piece of truth that they were kind of spinning the yarn around. Now you're like, I don't even believe that there is any truth to what you're saying.
It's not going to get better.
I don't think it is either.
It can't. It's to quote George Clooney. Quote, the one battle he cannot win is the fight against time.
Wow. Strong.
Probably sound better if he delivered the line.
He should do more writing.
I hate to scoop you like this, but the Babylon Bee is out with a story.
Uh-oh. Is this for Friday? I can't use this one?
This is for Wednesday. I mean, you can. We'll just all pretend. Actor George Clooney announced today the premiere of the highly anticipated sequel to Ocean's 14, which will follow Danny Ocean and his gang as they steal $30 million by cleverly getting people to hand money to a dementia patient disguised as a politician. According to Hollywood sources, the plot follows Ocean's crew as they host a high-profile Los Angeles fundraiser for a politician, before revealing afterwards that the candidate actually suffers from mid-stage dementia, absconding with the entire proceeds from the night. Film critics are already raving over the subtle plot twists and hilarious comedy of the film. Classic Clooney, said Gail Richards, a New York Times movie reviewer, quote, clever, misdirection, changing his mind at the drop of a hat. The film displays George Clooney's acting at its finest as he bamboozles an entire fundraiser. The way he manages to get an entire ballroom of people to give $30 million to an old chap before revealing that the guy totally has lost his marbles, just outstanding. What a heist.
Yeah, give all your money to him so that next week I can publicly call for his resignation.
Headline, in new Ocean's 14, George Clooney pulls off $30 million heist by tricking people into giving money to politician before revealing he's demented.
That's the B. Calling it right now.
Yeah, sort of. How do you trust George Clooney's judgment when he was willing to take that money? I mean, that money was raised for Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it was at the top of the hour, either last hour or right before, Lisa Brady from Fox News played a clip from Jon Favreau, who just today, I assume.
Like Jon Favreau, the director and actor, or the political commentator?
The director and actor.
You're sure?
The famous one.
Oh, okay.
Well, I guess they're both kind of famous, but
One's more famous
He
than
was
the other.
at that.
One of them's happy.
He was at that gala, and he said, yeah, you know, I met the president there, and I saw the things that everybody was seeing at the debate, but it was before that. So we thought, oh, boy, he's in bad shape, but hopefully he's just having a bad night. Maybe at the debate he'll turn it around and everything will be fine. Well, surprises on you, that clearly didn't happen. But also, how could these people be that shocked to meet this guy and go, oh, man, you know what? He seems like he's lost a step. Like, you must be hiding from any media that disagrees with anything you already believe for you to believe that Joe Biden was fine until that moment.
This is not new information.
It's new for Jon Favreau.
Man, I struggle to think that maybe they're hiding and I think they were just lying. George Clooney's coming out now because the jig is up and you can't hide it from anybody any longer. And he's like, man, because he sat on that stage with him. He did that fundraiser. He knows what Joe Biden was like. And now he comes out and he's like, I don't think he can do it anymore. And it's like you knew that every time you did a fundraiser for him. And now you're saying it?
Well, it's because the media has always been able to cover it. That's what I've been saying, is that, like, as long as the media is capable of continuing the narrative and producing the show, then it's fine. It didn't matter to them before. If you want to talk about unpatriotic and un-American, all of the people who propped up Joe Biden during this entire process, they should all be looked into dramatically. They should not be, if you're a journalist and you're just now like, maybe we should check the White House logs and see if any doctors saw Joe Biden. Post-debate, like, what kind of journalistic integrity and itch do you have to get to the bottom of a story? I mean, I would imagine I'm not a reporter. I wouldn't call myself a journalist. I'm a commentator and an opinionator or whatever. But I am curious. You guys have seen some of my personal journalistic work, and if there's a story I want to get to the bottom of, there are a lot of easy ways that you can look into things. If you got something that's piqued your curiosity, you can check it out. If you're a journalist, you have to always be going on hunches, and you have to be following those hunches down dead-end roads all of the time to be like, well, I guess I can't prove that, or maybe that's not what I thought it was. But you've got to be meeting as many dead ends as you get to big stories, and likely more dead ends than you get to big stories. You didn't have a hunch that this guy was moving towards senility?
No, they really didn't. And what's amazing is that 12:25, I really highly recommend, if you're listening right now and you do podcasts, get the 12 o'clock hour and listen to Annie's first and their second segment where you were playing the Jake Tapper stuff.
It's a very serious segment.
Jake Tapper, I mean, it was super funny, but that is an example of what not only Jake Tapper, but all of the journalists on all the TV stations should have been doing the whole time. And then what's amazing is they wouldn't find themselves in this situation.
Yep, they're part of it. They're
are
complicit.
Well, and people would trust them.
And people would trust them more. Yeah. I don't know if they can ever get it all the way back, but
let's take a quick break on the poll today, Annie Fry YouTube channel. What will Joe Biden do? Gilbert said, I selected drop out of the race. A month ago, I would have said stubborn Joe would ride it out, but I think he's getting enough inside backlash that if he doesn't end the race, they will threaten with Article 25 Amendment, 25th Amendment. Let's take a quick break, and we'll get the results to this poll at the end of the next segment. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Of his love and the blessing.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
By and by, we shall meet on that beautiful shore, and the sweet by and by, we shall meet on that beautiful shore.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
If you need someone you can trust for your eye care, go see the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Kim St. Ange here. Doctors Birdie, Malhotra, Brusati, Royer, and Barry are experts in the diagnosis and treatment of diseases of the eye. 314-966-5000 or yourEyeDoc.com.
Well, there's a very good chance as you've driven down your street, you have admired houses in your neighborhood that have been covered in Rhino Shield, and you don't even know it. Except if you pay close attention, you'll notice that they're not being repainted every couple of years. What I mean is same bright, vivid colors that you would choose with regular paint, except that Rhino Shield lasts, and you're going to get a 25-year warranty with it. I've got it on my house, and I mean it. It looks like it did the day they put it on. It lasts and lasts. It's lab tested to last that long against chipping or peeling or cracking. And they put this on businesses as well. Condo units from Springfield, Illinois, all the way down to the Lake of the Ozarks. You can find it. And my friend Darren will be happy to come over and give you a free evaluation of your home. All you have to do is call him. Tell him you heard Mark Cox talking about it. 877-25-RHINO or online at 877-25rhino.com.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. With Ramp, you get full visibility into your company's spending and control who spends what with each vendor. Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts instantly to save your team valuable time. Ramp automates data entry and routine tasks with automated approvals, expense categorization and bill payments, time-consuming tasks. Which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. Get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/free. Ramp.com/free. RAMP.com/free.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Del Walmsley and the Wealth Cycle.
This is the wealth cycle that I've taught for 30 years. Buy one house, 10 houses, an apartment, 2 apartments, 8, 20, 500 units, 1,000 units, 2,000, 5,000 units. And as you keep putting the money and the profits back in, you become one of those rich people. And much quicker than you'd even believe.
Learn Dell's Wealth Cycle at GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Use promo code 2024. Save 60%. Code 2024. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com.
What's Joe Biden going to do, you guys? That's the subject of today's YouTube live chat poll. Will he drop out of the race?
I bet he has no idea.
Yeah, I would like to ask Joe Biden to log on to YouTube and type in Annie Fry.
Go ahead.
And I'm publicly asking him right now, Mr. President, please log on to the Annie Fry Show stream and let us know what you're going to do. Are you going to drop out of the race, resign as candidate and president, remain in both, or win re-election? He just voted. He said remain in both.
There you have it.
Let us know what you think. It's almost the end of the show, so you got a little bit of time to do that. 2:46. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up. Hey, it's Mark Reardon getting set to go here on a Wednesday. Tish sat down with a reporter from KMOV, and it was embarrassing on several fronts. We'll talk about that. And then the George Clooney op-ed today. Wowza, we'll talk about it all. Coming up after Fox News.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
All right, the Republican Governors Forum, the Missouri Republican Governors Forum, is taking place tomorrow, Thursday. I think doors are at 6:30. I think the debate is supposed to start at 7. It's at Parkway West High School, Clayton Road in Baldwin. And I'm the moderator of this. I'm excited to do this. I've been working on doing a lot of research. I have a list of questions that I have gotten from the Republican Central Committee of St. Louis County, and I'm very excited for the opportunity. I'm combining that list with questions that you can submit to me. If you go to AnnieFryShow.com, you can go to the contact the show part, fill out the form there, and you can email me the question that you would like to have asked at that governor's forum, and I will try to include some of those. You can also go to the Annie Fry Show Facebook page, and at the top of the page, I have it pinned right there. Leave a comment and tell us what you would like to know. You interviewed both of them on the show yesterday.
Yeah, and just asking them kind of, one of the things that I would like to, if I'm tuning in, which I am, but if I'm just sort of representing anybody tuning in, I think the number one thing that I want to know is what differentiates you.
Yeah.
And
Why
I think
you and not them?
Say that again?
Why you and not the other?
Yeah, why you and not the others? Because, these, again, we're from Illinois. We look longingly at Missouri and go, gosh, you guys have options. Mm-hmm. We typically don't, but you do. And so be informed. I mean, this is the way to know how to vote in the primary is to pay attention to things like this.
It's, from what I understand, anybody's race still. So I think that this debate is going to have a pretty strong impact on what occurs. And I think the capacity for the theater, which is where it is at Parkway West High School, I think the capacity for the theater is 400. So hopefully we'll have a full room. And if you go to 971talk.com/events, it says you can register there with your email, your name, guests in your party, and you can submit that there. So I would love to have your questions. And if you want to, you can, this is another thing at AnnieFryShow.com. If you've never gone there, it's a new website that I've put together and try to just take all of the things that we do socially or whatever and put them all in one place. You can watch the show at AnnieFryShow.com. You can see the YouTube video that is embedded there. You can watch it there. You can click on the link to join the chat if you want to from there, take you to the YouTube. You can follow us on our podcast if you so choose to do that. But a lot of people listening may not really be that into podcasts. So we've got a playlist of everything on there that takes you directly to listen to. Maybe you wanted to hear Jim Carafano today or Deroy Murdock, or you wanted to listen to, like Ryan was saying, the 1225 segment when we were talking about Jake Tapper, and he was just struggling. Poor guy. He was telling the truth.
For once.
Yeah.
He's one of those rare guys who one out of every 5 times, you're like, okay.
He always looks like he's in pain when he's doing it.
Which is fine.
Okay, there you have it. Our poll for today is, what will Joe Biden do? Is he going to drop out of the race, resign, remain in both the race and the presidency, or he's going to win re-election? If you go directly to the Annie Fry YouTube channel and see today's live broadcast, you can vote in today's live chat poll. You said, Ryan.
Remain in both.
Brad?
Yeah, I think he's going to resign both.
I think he's going to drop out. I'm going to just be different. I think he's going to drop out of the race. I don't think he's going to resign.
I think that if he does drop out as candidate, he will. If anything, I would agree with you. Rather, I don't think he'll drop out of both.
Resign the presidency.
Yeah. I think he'll stick that out regardless.
We'll see. And we played the clip of Whoopi Goldberg at the beginning of the show, which is just really something wild to behold.
I don't care if he's pooped his pants. I don't care if he can't put a sentence together. Show me he can't do the job, and then I'll say, okay, maybe it's time to go.
I don't really, you listen to her, the basic tenets of being able to function fully in the job. Like, what if you are trying to figure out, do we push the button or do we not push the button? And he's got to poop, and it just happens. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's an asset. He doesn't need to go anywhere.
Asset.
You were so 12.
The clip is so funny because she goes, look, I know he poops his pants and he can't speak.
It's just an accepted part of conversation now about the president of the United States.
Somebody's just got to show me he's not capable of doing the job. I know these facts already.
What's your line?
I have
what do you need to see?
Requirements for appropriate behavior in my household for my children, just to be permitted to exist in my house. We're working with Molly. But the rest of them, here's the price of entry. And here's the toilet.
this is great information for next time you have an event where we come over to your house next time, because I was not aware of some of these things.
Ryan's like, I shall redouble my efforts.
I just don't feed you.
Well, you give me fries and wings, and it's really your fault.
I really do feed you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. This is about me. This is my problem. I haven't said this publicly yet, but I always take a family vacation in July. And so Friday after the show, I'm going on vacation. And I'm going to be gone until I come back on the 25th. So I'm taking basically a week and a half off. I'm taking essentially the same vacation I usually do, but with 6 people in my family, we elected to drive to Florida this time and not fly. I checked the prices on the flights several times, but for us to fly round trip from here to Central Florida was going to cost somewhere around $2,600.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. And it's just, when you think about, or we could drive, and I think I did the calculation on that, and it's somewhere around maybe $400, $450 based on gas prices and how much, once we get there, we actually drive, which we don't really anticipate doing a whole lot of. It's a long drive. My kids want nothing more, and specifically my 8-year-old Evelyn wants nothing more than to see the ocean. Well, when you're driving from St. Louis to Central Florida, you don't really ever go past the ocean.
Not really.
Not unless you intend to.
If you look at a map of the U.S., you go, oh, we're going to be pretty close. But then when you're driving, you're like, I'm not spending 2 hours going that way.
We're pretty close to Kauffman Stadium right now, too. And, we can't see the Royals play. But when we're going to go down through Alabama, and we're going to go basically like Panama City Beach-ish. We're just going to be like, there it is. And then we're going to spend the rest of the day driving to Central Florida. But I'm if my kids are listening, we're not canceling the vacation. Everything is fine. But I am super conflicted about not doing this in the next week and a half, because if the president resigns and I'm not here to do that, but I really
don't worry. I'll take over.
All right, kids, the vacation's canceled. We're staying here. And it's Ryan Wiggins' fault.
No, kids.
No.
It's not.
No.
It's the president's fault.
I really do think that they won't do anything until it gets right up to the convention, because and the convention will be maybe a couple weeks after I would get back on. I think I get back on the 25th. But I think that it'll wait that long so that they can get everything through, so that they don't, the Republican National Convention, which I'm also going to miss, and I tried to reschedule around it, but I couldn't. The Republicans, they're going to have their convention, and I don't think that I would want, if I were Joe Biden, if I were the Democrats, I wouldn't want to be giving the Republicans that in that moment.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, we're airing that live. Every night next week, we're airing the convention live.
Right here on 97.1,
yeah.
so people can listen in. That's cool. Oh, maybe I will listen in.
You should.
Well, I'm in Central Florida. What will Joe Biden do? It's the YouTube live chat poll for today. Win re-election? We have 237 votes in right now, 3%. You guys keep hanging on. Well, not you guys. Probably, I don't know, just one person.
One person.
Win re-election, 3%. Resign as candidate and president. I think that was yours, Brad. 13%. Drop out of the race. That's what I said, 22%. Remain in both. Ryan Wiggins wins the day.
Thank you, St. Louis.
Oh, no, wait. That one was last.
Oh, no.
Just kidding. 62%. Mark Reardon up next.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent. So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle.
Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Free and Gentle. This back-to-school season, Tide and Downy are giving back with $1.5 million in scholarships. Enter to win. No purchase necessary. US/DC 17+. End September 30th. Rules. Tide.com/scholarship/official rules.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I get
asked a lot where your thermostat setting should be at in this kind of heat. My answer is wherever you want to set it for your comfort level. It's your comfort, it's your house, it's your money, so put it where you like it. And the other answer to that is